And we're live. All right, all right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Team Be the Change. Welcome, BTC family, and all of you who've been invited here tonight. It's a special hangout we have tonight for you. We've got some cool training. I am Chris. We've got Amy. We've got Jordan. And we're going to have a few special guests come on that have been really making things happen and doing a lot of cool things in the team. We got a lot of announcements and cool stuff for you, and have a lot of training for you tonight. This hangout's going to be a little different than what you've seen lately in the last couple months. We've got a lot of cool stuff tonight for you. We've got a lot of things we're going to talk about, getting some things together in the team and in the group for everybody. So for those of you who are here for the first time tonight, we welcome you. Stick around. There's going to be a lot of cool things going on tonight. There's going to be a lot of cool things we're talking about. A lot of things you're going to be able to learn that you'll be able to apply to your business, whatever business that may be, or also to the business here with Team Be the Change and the products we promote as well. So with that, Amy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here. Welcome, everybody. It's good to have you here. And yeah, I'm really excited to kind of get back to basics tonight and talk about all the amazing reasons why our team is producing the kind of results that it is, because it's a pretty spectacular place to be. And I'm grateful every day to be part of it. And so I'm really looking forward to tonight.
Right on, right on. All right, Jordan.
Yeah.
You're muted, bud.
Yeah, I definitely was muted there. You know, I'm stoked about tonight. You know, especially after it's been a while. It's been a while since me and Amy got together. So after we had our soup day at Amy's house the other day and talked about a lot of things, really about where this team is going to be going, and everything that's about to start happening here, as if like what's happened over the past 11 months hasn't already been enough. To know where we're going to continue going is just absolutely amazing. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked about tonight and about the people we're bringing out and about that crazy echo that's going in my ear right now. That's amazing as well.
See what I can't do about that. Go ahead and keep talking. Let's see if we got you.
All right. I think, yeah, that's way better.
All right.
Absolutely. You know, I'm stoked too. Something really cool here. Amy just got some ads approved on Facebook, and you know, just a really powerful lesson in that is, you know, there's a lot of people in the team out there that are implementing the Facebook marketing strategy, not getting ads approved, and you know, Amy certainly is one of those people as well. But she continued to just keep refining and recreating her ads. One of the biggest things about marketing, especially with any kind of platforms where it's a large company, you know, like YouTube, Facebook, I mean Google, any kind of company like that, they're constantly updating their terms of service and all that stuff. They're constantly evolving and changing what is allowed and what's not allowed in their marketplace. So, you know, really just continuing to recreate things and you know, repost ads and redo things and constantly just going at it until you figure out exactly what it is that's going to allow it. And sometimes it's just the slightest little things. And I know Amy's changed a few things over the past few days, and she changed some stuff before that, and now her stuff is getting approved. And it just goes to show what happens when you're consistent and you stick with something until it actually happens, and don't allow one little obstacle like most people do. Most people will do something, and this doesn't necessarily just apply to marketing with Facebook. This will apply to anything in life. People will go and say they want to do something, and then they'll run into one little obstacle, and it'll completely take them out of the game. You know, and then that's really the only way to fail, is to allow those obstacles to take you out of the game. So yeah, I'm excited about that too.
Yeah. Did you see the? I know you saw it, Jordan, but I just posted this thing on Facebook about obstacles. It says, in this universe which was created by a divine organizing intelligence, there are simply no accidents. With everything that has happened to you, you can either feel sorry for yourself or treat what has happened as a gift. Everything is either an opportunity to grow or an obstacle to keep you from growing. You get to choose. It's from Wayne Dyer.
Yeah, I saw that. I love that. I really do. And it really is, because, you know, people, you know, oftentimes people are their own worst enemy, and a lot of people hear that a lot, but the reality is, you know, we never stress actually how you can be your own worst enemy. And a lot of times what I found is, you know, going through a lot of things like Course in Miracles and a lot of other, you know, Byron Katie's The Work and a few other things, is that, you know, you learn to, you know, take care of self and understand how important my door just totally swung forward open, and it's windy outside in the mountains here. That's awesome. But a lot of things come down to, taking care of yourself. And, just like processes I've gone through here recently too, is forgiving myself for a lot of things that I needed to be able to in order to become the best that I can be for everybody else as well. If I sit and wallow in self-pity and things, how I've been too hard on myself about certain things, and how I've tried to bring the team along in certain ways, we do those things, and then oftentimes we'll be so hard on ourselves that we actually limit ourselves in being able to take care of ourselves, and take care of, therefore being an example and taking care and being, of other people. Just like, when, they always do those drills in an airplane, where you've got the oxygen mask that come down, and they always tell you, secure your mask first and then secure your child's mask, because if you don't have yourself taken care of and you can't breathe, you're not going to be able to get that mask on the child. And so it's the same concepts here that apply. So I really loved that quote, Amy.
Yeah, me too. Wayne Dyer knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely. So we got some quick recognition here, but so before we jump into some of the quick training, we were going to talk about some of the marketing concepts that we were going to get into. And before long here, we're going to bring out our special guests. Some of you in the team have heard of them, haven't ever seen them on a platform. They're someone you haven't seen on a Hangout before. And it's going to be cool to listen to them, as they were a couple that made, they got started with them from the day they started going. 30 days later, they'd made over $5,000 with no online marketing experience. Kind of amazing. And that just goes to show as to what we've done in the team. So real quickly, what we're going to do is recognize some of the people on our team, which we actually have, I believe, Jordan, is some signups as well, not just upgrades. What we found is that the vast majority of our team, based on the systems that we've put in place, based on the systems we've put in place, most of our team has upgraded. And so we're getting back to a point where we're actually going to start recognizing a lot of new people coming into the team again, because our upgrades, although they're still coming, we have a high majority of upgrades versus the amount of people we've been bringing in as a focus, because that's been our focus, and we recreated the whole team site in order to help people upgrade to higher levels and have the ability to earn larger commissions. And so that's one of the other things we're going to talk about tonight. But Jordan, go ahead, bud.
All right, let me just pull this up here. Very exciting.
While you're doing that, Jordan, I'll tell them to go. Hey, everyone, go to Facebook and let everyone know that we're hanging out right now. Get your friends over here. We want to have a huge amount of people on here tonight.
Absolutely. Really quickly, you could take any of the bullet points from the email copy and just go post that on Facebook really quick and get people down here with your link that's up in the bar up there with your username on the end of that. And let's fill this thing up. Let's see if we can't break 400 people here. I truly believe we can. Cool stuff here. I know Amy's got a few more here. And one of the things, again, folks, Andrea goes through the Facebook group, and she gets emails from people who've upgraded throughout the week. And she keeps track of who does upgrade, who has like their first commissions, who has their first big days, things like that, as best she can. But literally, with the size of our team, how fast it's growing, how big it's growing, we honestly can't keep up with everything. So we do try to congratulate everyone, because celebrating success, and here's something I'm going to touch again on in a second, celebrating success attracts more success. It's a proven law of the universe, and something that we absolutely love doing here. So going to go through here, and if we did miss anyone, certainly do apologize for that, and you certainly make some noise right down below here. So first off, we got Anjanette Mojica, came into the Inner Circle, the Costa Rica Mastermind, and she bought her event ticket, which is huge. It's absolutely huge. I remember years ago, I was in an opportunity where I was at the beginner level. It was $500 to come in at the beginner level, and the next level up was $2,000. And I was talking to my sponsor, and I said, I'm thinking of either I want to upgrade to the next level. And he said, well, are you going to go to the event that's coming up in a few months? And I said, well, I can either go to the event or I can upgrade, and I think I'm going to upgrade because I want to be able to earn commissions on that product level. And he didn't pressure me enough. He didn't put enough pressure on me that getting to events is actually much more powerful. Now, not to say that you shouldn't upgrade and own all the products, because you absolutely should. You should do whatever it takes to be able to do that. But if you had to choose between the two, I guarantee you getting to an event is just so much more powerful than anything else, because it really, there's just so many things we can't even get into right now. And I know me not getting to events in my first, it was actually about 20 months or so into business before I ever got to my first event, is the reason it took me so long. It took me 22 months total to quit my job. I was actually able to quit my job within like a month of going to my first event. So, that's not a guarantee that when you get to an event, you'll be able to quit your job a month later necessarily. Just to state the fact that getting to events can absolutely transform your business. One of my good friends, Mark, always says, every live event I go to causes a quantum shift in my business. So congratulations for grabbing your event ticket. And anyone else who has gotten your event ticket for Freedom in Miami in January, it's going to be phenomenal, especially being in Miami in January. I can't wait. We got Chip Slicer, who went all in last, I believe it was Wednesday. He went all in. And, Amy, I don't know if you want to talk more about that or do that in a moment even. I know you had mentioned that you wanted to.
Yeah, I will. Go.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Go ahead, though. I'll just do it later.
Awesome. And then we have Marie Johnson, who upgraded to the Inner Circle and the Costa Rica Mastermind. Congratulations on that. We have Victor De Jesus, who upgraded to the 15K formula. I don't know if he was mentioned last week. I was here watching last week, even though I wasn't actually on the Hangout. I actually watched quite a bit of it because it was a powerful training, and getting around this thing every single week and being here when I can, even if I'm not actually on the live Hangout, being here and watching was absolutely, it was just powerful. I learned a ton of stuff last week. So I don't remember if he was mentioned last week, but he did upgrade to the 15K formula. And it looks like, I'd have to check with him and check with Thomas, but it looks like he's following along with setting his intentions and upgrading on time, because I noticed that he joined in early to mid-October, had his intention for getting to the $500 level, and then he had his intention for getting to the 15K formula. So congratulations, Victor. Keep it coming, man. Looking forward to it. And then one of my good friends here lives in Colorado here, lives down near Denver. Chuck Sharpstein, he upgraded to the Costa Rica Mastermind Intensive just last week, and I'm really excited that he's decided to come over here and plug in, because I was talking to Chris about this. He joined a while back, and threw some marketing down, does some SEO stuff, threw some SEO marketing down, and pretty much just kind of let it sit and do its thing. And without really knowing, he sponsored somewhere between 12 and 15 people so far, without even really knowing. It's just kind of been working on its own, and he's been sponsoring people. And so finally I contacted him, like, man, if you're, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not really doing anything. And I said, well, since you're not doing anything, maybe you want to start doing something. And
kind of like you, Jordan. I didn't do anything,
yeah.
and I made 40 grand. Maybe I should do something.
Yeah, yeah, it's a pretty good problem to have. Not gonna lie. But so super excited because Chuck's decided to come over here, start marketing, and start going. So I'm excited to see, what exactly is going to happen there. Anyone who's a part of his team is blessed and got someone cool that they're working with. And then we got Matt Dillingham. He's starting to take off. I've been noticing more and more pass-ups coming from him. I've been noticing more consistent sign-ups coming in. And I'm just truly really excited for him, because I know that Matt's been the person. He was actually my very first lead that I ever generated online. Well, like over 4.5 years ago, the first lead that I ever generated, and it wasn't until a couple months ago that he decided to join me in Empower Network. And that's one of the quick lesson there, folks. Is a lot of people kind of discount, people that don't sign up right away. Discount like, oh, that person, these people, my leads are coming in, they haven't joined me. That's where the follow-up process comes into play, and that's why plugging into the 15K formula and going through, there's about 7 hours of email follow-up training from 2 people that are earning over $1 million a year in there, teaching you step-by-step what they do on a daily basis to write emails to follow up with their lead list, to get people who didn't decide to join right now to get them to join later, right? That's what they teach in there. And so Matt was like 4 years later, and he's been plugging away. He's been very consistent. He's been getting to the events. He's been absolutely awesome, and he's really starting to take off. So I'm excited for that. And the last thing I noticed here, this is just exciting. I noticed this today actually. Cameron Arnett, he just got his first sale yesterday. About 20 hours ago is when he posted in the Facebook group that he just got his first sale. Now follow along with this because this is exciting. He joined on October 30th and he went all in. So that's when he got welcomed into the Facebook group. He might have joined a day or two before that. I'm not 100% sure, but that's when he got welcomed into the Facebook group. On November 4th, he posted that he got his first lead. So he's like, woohoo, got my first lead, right? He's celebrating success. On November 6th, he wrote his first blog post, and he was celebrating the fact that he's taking action. On November 18th, which was yesterday, he got his very first sale, and he posted in the Facebook group, and he was celebrating. And, that's one of the biggest lessons that I learned years ago. I've always been good at this, but I remember I was at a T. Harv Eker event, and they had us do this exercise, which I'm not going to spoil for you, where we celebrated even what seems like the littlest successes in life, and how powerful that is, because when you celebrate little successes, you attract more successes. And one of the things that I always used to do, and I'm not saying that you need to post 1,000 times a day in the Facebook group, because that's actually gonna get very, Amy's like, please don't do that. That's actually gonna, that's counter productive, if you will, if you're posting too many times. But if you get, if you have like if you have a day where you generate like a record number of leads, or if you have a day where you generate your first lead, or get your first sign up, or have your first bigger commission, or whatever, celebrating that publicly is absolutely powerful, because not only are you celebrating it by yourself, you're celebrating it publicly and celebrating it with the universe, and you're shouting out to the universe that you're excited about success no matter what. A lot of times people will take whatever success they've had, whether it be like getting a visitor to your website, or generating your first lead, or having a $25 sign up, and say, well, yeah, it was $25, but they didn't upgrade and I didn't make $1,000 today. They'll discount what success they did have rather than celebrating success. And I used to email my sponsor on a regular basis, not necessarily every single day, but when something record would happen, when I had my first day where I just generated over 20 leads for free, I emailed them about it. I let them know about it. And so celebrating your success publicly to the universe is an absolutely powerful way to attract more success to you. That's just one of the things that I live by, and one of the things that I know has attracted more success into my life. So congratulations to everyone there, and I don't know if Amy, Chris, I think you got some more people to talk about here.
Yep. Yeah. Congratulations, everyone, that Jordan said. And guys, while we're doing this, if you have anybody on your team that you want to congratulate, go ahead and do it in the comment stream. We definitely don't want to leave anybody out. And like Jordan said, we don't know everything. It's hard to keep track of every single thing that's going on. But if you want to congratulate anybody, feel free to do that in the comment stream. I wanted to talk about Chip Slicer. He came in after watching Krista Puzar, who Krista hadn't even really made any money yet, but she started to have some major breakthroughs in her life. Her quality of life started to change, and her belief in what she was doing and her attitude towards life, everything started to change dramatically. And this guy, Chip, came in because he saw that happening to her, even though she hadn't made any money yet. And now, since then, Chip has come in and he's gone all in. So Krista just had her first $3,000 day the other day, which was so unbelievably awesome. A couple weeks ago, she had her first $1,600 day, and so now things are starting to fall in place for her. And I had an amazing conversation with her. I just want to say congratulations to Krista. And I know she's not on here tonight because she had to go to bed, but I know she'll watch the replay, and I just want to say congratulations to you, Krista. But also, in this conversation, she was just sharing with me how she's really getting on a bigger picture, in a much bigger way, how powerful the universe is, and like how the stuff that we teach on our team, a lot of it's kind of woo-woo, but she just goes with it, and she's really starting to see some of the stuff happening. Like, for example, she just spent I think she said she spent right around $3,000 to be able to go on this trip to Thailand that Chris arranged to go give back.
Plus the plane ticket.
Yeah. So she decided that she wanted to go give back. They're going to make a difference in the world. in Thailand and with this amazing organization. And she didn't have the money to do it. She went ahead and, you know, set the trip up, and, you know, just because she wants to make a difference. And now she just made all that money back because she threw her hat over the fence and believed. And she's just like, what comes around really does go around. Like, she's like, it's already coming back to me. This is amazing. And so it's just really awesome, not only to watch her starting to make money, which is just always a great thing to see, but to watch everything else that's happening alongside that, and even before she started making money, to watch this kind of transformation happening. So it's just, I mean, I can't say enough about it. It's just so awesome. And for me personally, it's awesome because our team members are having success here, where for me, after 9 years in a regular network marketing company where I was able to have what was considered success in that company, and, you know, it's a little bit different than what we consider success here because we make way more money here and it's a lot easier. But I was considered a leader in that company, and I had a decent amount of success, but my team wasn't making any money there. And that was what was so frustrating for me. And I was talking to people on the phone every day and hand-holding people, which was probably part of the reason they weren't making any money, because they weren't empowered like what we do here. You know, we empower people to, you know, by using leverage and giving people a team site that they can plug into. But in any case, it's just so exciting to see my team members having success. And so there's nothing, I mean, for me, that's more exciting than making money myself. And so I'm just loving watching these, you know, my team members have money. Success, money and success, and personal breakthroughs. I also just want to do a shout out to Juan Nicasio. Juan just signed up his 16th member, and you know, he's been in for I think about 8 months now, exactly. And it's just so awesome. Like, I know that I didn't sign up 16 people probably for like my first couple years in you know what I was doing before. So just to, I don't know, I'm just so excited for our team. And Ron, you're just a rock star. And I know that Juan recently, you know, Juan is committed to consistently investing in himself and in his education, and he recently invested in the new product that just came out, which is the what's it called? The Viral Blogging Academy now. They changed the name of it. And it's a lot of really good storytelling stuff, and it's just an amazing product. And he had a huge breakthrough from plugging into that product, and it's creating more success for him in his business. So I just really, you know, I just really want to acknowledge all of you who are having success and taking your business to the next level and investing in your education and committing, like Ann Jeanette, who Jordan mentioned, who bought her event ticket. Like, I want to just say something real quick about that. Number one, events are where all the magic happens. But for me, personally, I know who's committed to their business when they buy the event ticket as soon as it goes on sale, or they buy the event ticket the day that they join Empower Network, because they know that that's just part of what it takes to be successful. I have not missed an event since I've been in Empower Network in 2 years. Like, as soon as the tickets go on sale, I buy it. Like, I don't think about whether I'm going to buy it. I don't figure out. I mean, one time I remember, Chris, when I first met you, you were sitting next to me in San Diego. We had just met, and they announced the dates, and I looked at my phone and I said, well, I don't have childcare that weekend because my kids aren't going to be with their dad. And at first I wasn't going to buy the ticket, and then I was like, what am I doing? I'm just going to buy the ticket and figure out the childcare later. Like, that's what you do when you're committed to, really committed to something, and when you're a leader. And so that's what I did, and then I figured out the childcare piece later. And that's what I always do now. Same thing, you know, with the Miami event. As soon as those tickets went on sale while I was in Anaheim, I bought one, not knowing what I was going to do about my kids and all the logistics. I mean, all that can be worked out later, but when you're really committed to something, you don't have to think about it. When a new product comes out, like, I don't even watch the sales video. I just buy it because I know that it's going to help my business, and I know that, you know, I know that everything that I've ever purchased from Empower Network is worth way more than I've paid for it, and all of it it's gotten me from where I was before, which was struggling financially, to where I am now, which is thriving financially. So I know that everything that they give us is valuable, and that I need to own all of it. So I don't even think about whether or not I'm going to buy something. I just buy it. I don't think about whether or not I'm going to go to an event. I just go. And so anyway, I just want to acknowledge Ann Jeanette as well, because did you say she just came? She's a new member, Jordan?
Yeah, she just came in about 3 weeks ago, and
Okay.
she went all the way up into the 500 to the Costa Rica level right away.
Yeah, so and to buy an event ticket like that, I mean, when I talk to my new members and when they get the welcome email from me, one of the steps in there is to buy a ticket to the next event. And it's for so many different reasons, but that's where I meet my people in person. That's where we all get together as a team, which is magical in and of itself, and then the value that people take away from events. But it's one of the steps in the getting started training. It's important if you're serious. And so, Anjanette, congratulations for taking your business seriously. And I just wanted to go there again real quick because I think it's important that that we acknowledge the people who are obviously really just going to do whatever it takes here.
Well, those are by far the most.
Do what it takes.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, those are by far the most powerful stories ever. Is when someone commits to go to an event, it seems like every time there's an amazing story that happens, it seems like it started with they went to an event. They made the decision to go to an event. They found a way. Sometimes it was last minute. This happened with Shauna. This happened with Landon. This happened with Angela. This happened with so many people that are now top leaders. And they made the decision to go to the event. It changed their whole outlook. It changed things for them. It gave them a new meaning and a new purpose for what they were doing. It gave them a belief in it. And they rode the momentum of that event for months while their business just thrived. Like we said, Landon went to an event, made 1,200, and then in the following, went to the event and then made 10,000 that month. I mean, it's stuff like that happens, and so never can underestimate the power of live events. The live events is where it's really at. Everything we do, in case you didn't know, funnels into this live event. Everything we do funnels into these hangouts every Tuesday night where we teach you cool stuff, and then from those hangouts, we funnel you into the live events that we go to just about every 3 months. Somewhere in the nation, we got quarterly events. And they're just pretty much mandatory. If you're serious about building your business, you need to go and get around people who are doing what you're doing, who are doing it and making it happen, so you can see and understand it and get the right proper mindset that you need to know how to build this business. So yeah, huge. Thank you, Amy, for that. That's a very, very important point. You always fill in the gaps on stuff that is just very important to point out that is really, really important. And so that's crucial. So don't forget, guys, definitely get your ticket to Miami. We're going to have a lot of fun. That's where we all get to hang out. In case you guys haven't seen the Denver video where we had our breakout room and then the Breckenridge video, that's what's possible. That's how much fun we have. And I'm telling you, the people, you're going to see some of these stories that we're going to be posting on the marketing pages here soon. People love this team, and they love going to these events, and they have more fun at these events than they have in anything else in their life. You hear this, Jordan, don't we hear this like every single time from people? Isn't that the craziest thing ever, that people are like, this is like what I look forward to these, like every 3 months, this is the thing I look forward to.
Well, yeah, some people they're like, oh, you got to go to a business convention. I'm like, yeah, well, it's a business convention, but it's kind of like it's a vacation as well, because typically the convention lasts like 2.5 days, and in between there's lots of fun and stuff going on, and usually before and after there's lots of fun and stuff going on too. So it's especially too because it's always in a fun location. Like, who doesn't want to go down to Miami and go swimming in the ocean in January? Like, I can't wait. I'll tell you what, this is my last winter in Colorado. I promise you that. I will be.
We'll see.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. I grew up in Wisconsin. I've had 20.
Hey, I grew up in Alaska. Keep talking.
This will be my 30th winter of my life, and I promise you, it's the last. So, I'm stoked to be able to go down there and start the new year off the right way with some warm weather, some sunshine, some happiness, and
yeah. Totally.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
The
our
other
events are just different. I just don't want people to think this is just a conference. It's not just a conference. There's no way to even explain what an Empower Network event is like. Like, if you've been to other conferences and conventions, it's not like those. It's nothing like those, and that's all I can really say. You got to come and see what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
I mean, the CEO of the company, or the owners of the company, the founders of the company, one of them's on stage barefoot. And
with plaid shorts, the same ones he wears every single time.
Yeah, every time. The other one's got high tops on. It's just awesome. It's just,
High
you know,
tops.
one of the leaders in the company doing his speech in a Slayer t-shirt. I mean, you don't see that anywhere else. Love this place.
Jordan, you had something there, bud?
Yeah, I know Amy slightly touched on this, but one of the big things about events, I remember back when I was like, I kept hearing about events, and actually I remember being on a training where Dave Wood was talking actually, and he's like, there's an event coming up in January, you got to get there, and this was long before Empower Network existed. And at this point in time, I was of the mindset of when I'm making enough money in my business, I'll get to an event, and rarely, if ever, does that happen in that fashion. Okay, rarely, if ever, the mindset is completely shifted backwards. When I'm making enough money, I'll get to an event, versus I'm going to get to an event because I'm doing whatever it takes to get around the people who can teach me how to make the kind of money I want, living the kind of lifestyle I want. And I promise you, the things that you learn at events, more so than just what you learn from stage and the different speakers you get to hear from, are the things that happen in between, the people that you get to chat with. You might have a conversation, like I guarantee you, me and Craig Waters had a conversation at the sushi bar down at the last event in Orlando, and there were some things that we talked about that he never would have learned otherwise. There were some things that he and I discussed that he never would have learned otherwise. Had he not been standing there drinking a beer with me and eating some sushi, we were talking about some things that you just don't get from a video. You get personal insights into things, and it's absolutely amazing. The other thing that I want to mention is a lot of people are thinking, well, I don't know if I can afford it, right? I don't know if I can afford to get a plane ticket, a hotel room, pay for this, that, the other thing. When I decided to go to my very first ever event, and this was like 18 months into my business, I remember it was the final day that ticket sales were on, and because I was still at that point where I was like hesitating, whatever. This was also the last day of ticket sales happened to be about a month and a half, 2 months before the event. They cut it off, and so this day comes along, and in my mind, I'm just like, whatever I got to do, I'm doing it. I'm getting there to this event. So I go and I spend all but $3 in my bank account. So I literally had $3 left in my bank account after I bought this ticket, and I just made a decision. I said, I don't know how I'm going to pay for a flight. I don't know how I'm going to cover a hotel room because we're going to Vegas. Hotel rooms in Vegas are not cheap. I don't know how I'm going to pay for food. Food isn't cheap in Vegas. I spent like $20 a day on a half a sandwich. It was crazy. And so I didn't understand how all that was going to fall into place. All I knew is that when I committed by buying my ticket, the universe fell into place. That following weekend, now it didn't just magically happen. Because I made that decision, because I had fully committed, there's something that happens when people make a decision to fully commit, and typically that's after people do something to invest something with money. Getting over the obstacle of not having the money is usually a test. The universe is testing you to say, can you figure out a way to make this happen? If you can, we're going to help you with all the other things. That's kind of when you make that decision where you're going to start taking the action steps that are necessary, even though you don't understand them. The universe kind of falls into place. Well, it did for me, and that weekend I made $700 selling products and services, and I was only making 30% commissions, not 100% commissions. So, the cool thing was the universe started falling into place right then and there. I made it out to Vegas. I got a hotel room. I roomed with 4 other people. Tom Leartzer was actually one of them, who's now one of the top guys in my team, and met a bunch of cool people there. And it was about a month or so after going to my very first event that I was able to quit my job. It was actually the very next day after getting home from that event that I made about $1,400 in a single hour, applying some of the stuff that I had learned at that event the very next day. Now, again, I didn't just sit there and do nothing. I was taking action. But it's amazing how you begin to take more action once you fully commit by doing something that you're completely unsure of. Will this work? Can I make this happen? I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. All of a sudden, the universe realizes, hey, this guy's serious. And it kind of like Will Smith says, the universe wants to bend to your will. The universe wants to flow like water and wants you to be able to just, bend through it rather than being any other way. It wants that, So, that's what happened for me, and that's why you should just make the decision by getting your ticket right now and fully commit.
Absolutely, and we're going to get into this training here in a minute about the different things that we had coming at you in the emails about some of the training we had, but we felt it was really, really important to make sure that people understood that we have. I just saw your message there, Amy. That's awesome. People understand that these events are what really all happens. So you can very much shortcut your way to understanding what you need to do and what mindset you need to have in this business if you get your ticket to the event and get there. It's been the most transformational tool that you'll ever see. Like Amy said, it's transformational in the sense that people have just amazing breakthroughs when they go there, and so it's important. And so allow us to introduce you here, guys. Just to let you know, we're going to talk about a few things tonight that really will help you with your business if simply applied and understood. Because a lot of people, they come into this business, they come for the money, they come saying, okay, well, show me how this is done. I want to know exactly step by step how this is going to happen. The good news is we can give you an exactly and we can give you a step by step. However, there's another element to it that you have to throw into it, and that means your own creativity, your own personality, and then also some other things about understanding marketing, understanding how to influence people, understanding how to move people, understanding how to get people to resonate with you, and how to properly bring people through a sales funnel, which is what we've set up for you in these automated systems. But there's also the part of you that needs to get them there, okay? And so that's the piece that we delegate to you in this whole equation, is being able to influence people, drive traffic, get traffic to websites, and get people to make decisions, and then following up with people, okay? So one of the things here that I want to point out to you is that before we quickly start on these concepts that are going to help you, there's certain questions you're going to ask yourself. There's certain principles that are timeless, that don't change when the latest Google algorithm changes. They don't change when there's a new launch of the week and somebody has a cool new method that happens to be the same rehashed method with a twist that has been sold for the last 4 years or 5 years online. So keeping that in mind, I just want to let you know why we're qualified to teach you these things, okay? Now, obviously, I can just simply say a few things here that will qualify that, and one is that in our industry, the incomes that myself, Jordan, and Amy create and generate are in the top, I believe it's 2% of our industry, actually. Maybe
1%.
Is it
probably
1%?
probably 0.5%.
Okay, I was being conservative.
Well, that's probably because you were looking at the income disclosure for Empower Network, and that income disclosure makes our incomes, which are really good, seem a little bit more wussy.
Right. Yeah, totally.
But,
at first,
industry-wide, exactly. the top 1% in most companies is just to put this a certain way. There was a company that had literally millions and millions and millions of people in this company, and was speaking to a friend of mine, one of the top earners in the company, and they were talking about what it takes to earn over $10,000 a month, or for that matter, I think it was either over 6 figures a year, which is like $8,400 a month, $8,500 a month, or over $10,000 a month. Either way, right around in that area. And essentially, it was 1 out of 160,000 people ever achieved over $10,000 a month. 1 out of 160,000 people. Now, you look at, you could scroll down to the bottom of this page and look at the income disclosure that we have here, which you shouldn't do that right now. Don't do that. Sorry for trying to distract you. Pay attention to this. Just understand you can do that later on. What we're going to teach here is way more important than you looking at a bunch of numbers right now. What we're going to teach is actually how to make money. Looking at all those numbers doesn't really teach you anything. It just shows you how badass we are. So basically, what you're gonna see there is that a lot less than 1 out of every 160,000, because there's really only about 170, 180,000 people in Empower Network that have ever been, and way more than 1 out of every 160,000 people have achieved over $10,000 a month. I calculated the numbers out roughly a little while back, and at the point in time I calculated it out, our team members, out of our team, we had about 1 out of 300 or 400 people in our team is earning over $10,000 a month. 1 out of 300 to 400 versus 1 out of every 160,000. Do you guys see the difference there?
Yeah.
Just that should illustrate it all. Okay.
So it's more like 0.1%, honestly.
So our formula works.
Yeah, our formula absolutely works. And so that's essentially what I was getting to there is, just last month for me, I went on an RV trip, me and Jordan and Angela. Angela's not on the Hangout tonight. She's another five-figure earner in our team, monthly earner. And we went on an RV trip, and we literally got our laptops stolen the first week of the trip while we were hanging out in the Grand Canyon, yelling obscenities into the Grand Canyon, having it echo it back to us 4 or 5 times. And I'm not going to repeat the obscenities that Jordan was screaming at the Grand Canyon.
That's not an obscenity. That's very natural things.
God. Right. Okay. So, and yeah, and so because of that, yeah. Well, so Jordan, we had a blast on that trip, right? I mean, we had some weird things happen. We had our laptops stolen, so we literally couldn't even get online and market. And so because we've had automated systems in place, for me personally, I had a month where my gross commissions, and that was before, the 3%, 6% processing fees and everything that so this is gross before net, was $19,600. And that's been something that started, essentially was, just under $3,000 a month. And, then I went to averaging about $15,000 for the last year, essentially, almost for the last 11 months or so. Last December went into January was when I had my first big month. And so, I've essentially started almost 2 years ago and built that up to where now that's coming in, and that's a consistent 5-figure income that's going to multiple 5 figures here. And I can speak for Amy and Jordan when they produce at that level too. And so what we're doing here is not theory. What we're doing here is not buying some rehashed Warrior special offer or some weird trick or webinar that somebody did or some training that we bought from 3 years ago or something like that. This is all what we do, okay? This is not from going and learning and buying a bunch of stuff and then just trying to recreate products for people. We don't introduce anything into the team until we have results, okay? And so what we do has results. And there's a reason why we have upgrade rates that are literally insane. I was just calculating mine as we got here, and I was looking at that, and my upgrade right now, upgrade rates for all in, having all the products, 21.9%, 21.97. So that's really 22%. That's and the funny thing is, I've talked to some of the leaders at the events, and including the owner of the company, David Wood and David Sharp, and they both, when I said that, they go, you kidding me? They didn't even know it. And so, like some of the best next down to that, like we got LT Lawrence, who's at like 10%, which is amazing. And so, the thing is here, what we're doing, there is a science behind it. As a lot of you know who've been in the team, Jordan is like our Facebook mad scientist and a brilliant marketer, and especially when we just cut him loose and let him do his thing, he's built some amazing, cool stuff in the team. He's literally rewritten our whole team, our team process here in the last week, or in the last month or so, and I mean the upgrades are insane. That's absolutely brilliant beyond comparison, and so and Amy's upgrades are insane. I'm getting pass-ups from her all the time. I've literally made just from the, and Jordan loves this, just from the all-in masters codes. I believe it's, what was that? I got number 16 from you, Amy, the other day, just a while back. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Plus Amy's.
And then from you, so 6 times 3, 18, it's 18,000. So yeah, just from that alone. So yeah, I mean, Amy knows how to throw it down too. And so, I mean, none of us discounted.
Me and Amy are both expecting a nice steak dinner down in Miami, by the way. At, what's that place called? Bourbon Steak?
Right. Okay. Yeah. And so, yeah.
It's all organic, grass-fed beef, Amy. Yeah. Don't worry about that. It'll fit the clean 30.
It'll fit the clean 30. Yeah.
You can throw down some steak.
So the thing is, guys, what we want you to know is what we've put together here and what we have in the team, which we just had a major mastermind about, and we've got a few tweaks going on. We continually move forward. We continually learn ourselves. I just had a big post on Facebook about ego and understanding, when you get into a space where you feel like you know everything and you don't have any room for growth. I literally saw somebody who had made $400,000 a year in other industries and have 3 published books sit at a table with someone who makes 100 grand in a month and tell him, I'm not qualified, I'm overqualified to be here. I don't even know why I showed up. I want all this strategy and all these questions answered, and you're not answering my questions. And this man sits and turns and looks at him and says, I think you're spiritually bankrupt, and I think that the values that you have around this are empty, which is why this is not going to continue for you. And the guy was like, I can't stay here. And you know what, I'm sorry, but when Aaron Rashkin says that to somebody, I listen. I spent last weekend with him and was actually going over some of our team stuff and everything, and got some tweaks and got some cool stuff that we're going to roll out in the team here soon. And so, yeah, we're always continually moving forward. But the thing is, everything we do is talked about. Everything we do it really does have a scientific process to it, but yet there's also another side to it, and that is that there's what we like to call a secret sauce with our team, and it's something that we identified right away when Jordan, Amy, and I came together, and it's something special, and it's really tough to even put our finger on it, what exactly you call it. For those of you in the team, for those of you in the family, in the comment stream below, what it is to you, you can go ahead and put your comment stream. You can put your comments down there. For those of you that are guests, that are invitees, this may be your first hangout. Don't worry, we are getting into the training here. You are going to get what you came for. But I just wanted to, put this out here so you guys understand where we're coming from, not to impress you, but to impress upon you what we're doing here for you, so that you understand and see the value in this, so that you know what you're getting. Okay, so this is important. There's a process to all of this, and you need to trust that process. Just like we're doing all this and laying this out for you in a scientific way for you, making sure that you know and understand everything along the way. Every step is crucial. Every step is important. We're doing that for you on this Hangout as well. Okay, this is all understood by all of us. And so just stick with us and know that this is what we're doing here. Makes sense. There's a reason for it. There's a lot of reasons for it. But, like I said, let me hear your comments. BTC family, let me hear you down there. I want to see some comments.
Chris, I gotta cut in here just a moment too, because what you said about that guy at Aaron's house now, I've seen people who have literally made millions and millions and millions of dollars in other industries come into here and sit down with someone like myself, who at the time was making $10,000 a month, and say, I'm putty in your hands, because although I've been extremely successful elsewhere, I don't know what I'm doing here. So really, one of the biggest things, Justin always says, I got to empty my cup. I got to empty my cup. And what that means is you got to be willing to just empty out what you think you know. And I don't care if you've been in the home business industry for years. What we do inside of Empower Network, and specifically inside of Team Be the Change, is entirely different than what's been done in the home business industry for the past 50 years or however long it's been. I think it's 50, 60 years now going on, right? I'm not the type of person that knows every company, the history, and when everything started. I just know how to make money in our industry. And one of the things that happened when I came back over to Empower Network, the first time that I was over here, and I never actually quit, I just stopped marketing. And like Amy said, the cool thing was I still made about 40 grand that year doing nothing, thanks to having awesome team members like her and Perig and Thomas and other team members that were doing things and whatnot. But the first time around, Empower came out with this little product that some of you may know called the 15K formula. And I had made about $18,000 in my first 2 months, right? And so when that product first came out, I kind of didn't pay it any mind, right? I was like, I don't need to know. They're talking about making 15 grand a month. I'm right on the verge to that. I don't need to learn anything, right? That was where my mind was at, right? Which is why I had struggled to surpass the level of income that I had currently achieved at that point in time. My best income to that point in time was like $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 a month, somewhere in there total. And about 9,000 with Empower Network. Now, when I came back to Empower, I said, all right, I'm going to empty my cup, and I'm going to follow this thing called the 15K formula, and I'm just going to listen to what they're telling me and do what they're telling me, even if I don't understand it, even if whatever. I'm going to push the ego aside, even though I've been successful in this industry, even though I've been successful in internet marketing, affiliate marketing, network marketing. I've been successful at all of it. I've sponsored hundreds and hundreds of people and built teams in multiple different opportunities. What we're doing here is different. What we're doing here is entirely different. And so sometimes you just got to push the ego aside and say, although I've been really successful, I'm going to listen to what these people are telling me, because they're doing things entirely different from the way that I've ever known how to do it, right? And then just plug in, take massive action, fail forward, and just keep doing it. That's really where I got to, and it absolutely works. So for any of you who are out there who might be thinking, the ego might be getting in the way, that's okay. My ego still gets in the way all the time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like Buddha or Jesus or anything like that. My ego still gets in the way, but just know that it's very powerful to be able to push that aside and listen to people, even if you've been more successful than they've been in other industries. To know the way that we do things here is entirely different.
Absolutely. Love it. Thank you, Jordan. That's perfect. Perfect. So what I want to quickly get into, guys, here is a little bit of what we do in the team. Okay, there's a few different strategies here. So for those of you that really want to learn, this is the time where you do open up that notepad, or you pull out that notepad, get ready to take notes, and make sure you listen to the replay of this thing and go back, because you're always going to learn something more, and a lot more, the second and even the third time. I always listen to everything twice. Always read everything twice that I do, because I always get more out of it the second time around than the third time. There's always layers to things, and until you actually do that, you'll never know that. So that's the first thing to write that down, is read it twice, listen to it twice, watch it twice. One of the things we have in our team is that you can download the audio to these Hangouts and put it on your iPod, put it in your phone, and then you can listen to it while you're doing whatever, cleaning the house, driving on your way to work, cooking dinner, doing whatever, feeding the dog, whatever you got to do. Now you can do it instead of just sitting in front of a screen and watching it. You can listen to it as well and get even more out of it. Okay, so that's the first thing, is always listen to something twice. Always have layers of it. If you have a video of something, if you can make an audio of it and reinforce what you heard before, step one, definitely do that, because training, you'll always get more out of it. You listen to it more than once. Don't think that just what you get first time around face value is all that you can ever get from it. Especially the training we do, there is a lot of layers. There's a lot of implied meanings in things, and you're not going to pick those up all the first time around. So, all right, guys, there's a couple things that we wanted to get into. All right, as marketers, there's a few things why I can write a blog post and it brings signups. There's a few reasons why Jordan can write a blog post and send an email and get signups. There's a few reasons why Amy can make a video, put it on her blog, and send it out to her list and get signups. And there's other reasons why other people do that, and they're like, I'm not signing people up. I'm not making sales in my business. Why is that? And there's a few reasons for that. Okay, now I'm just going to run down the quick list here of what I had talked about before. I told everyone there's a few laws here in marketing you got to understand. One of them is the law of congruency. By far and large, Landon will agree with me on this. Landon's one of our top producers in our team, and he understands congruency better than just about anybody. And congruency is a big thing. And not just congruency in terms of how you present yourself all the time, but congruency at every step of the process. I'm going to get back into that, but I'm just going to go over these right now. The next one is the law of third party. Essentially, if you don't have credibility and authority yet, there's got to be a credible authority source somewhere within the power triangle or within the funnel of what you're doing that gives and lends credibility to what's going on, what's being sold, what people are buying. Okay, and so if you don't have that, that's one of the disconnects. And so if you're trying to be the hero before you are the hero, okay, if you're trying to be or show up as the person that is supposed to be the one that they answer to when you haven't essentially done it yet, then there's a disconnect there. And so there's a way to defer to authority that does that. We're going to get a little bit more into that here in a minute. And the other one is the law of precise interest. That's essentially when you're talking to someone and you're saying, when someone says, now you're speaking my language, you've exercised the law of precise interest. That's when you talk about certain things like the same books that people read, or the same movies that people have watched, the same concepts that people talk about. Right away, there is like a brotherhood and a sisterhood of people who have watched the movie The Secret. And you can say, like I said in The Secret, like I heard, Jack Canfield say in The Secret, this, and this. Well, a person who has watched The Secret even once, already they feel connected with you. And so there's precise interest that you can hit on, that you make sure to point out to your prospect, to the person that you're connecting with. And one of the ways that you're going to find out what those precise interests are is the last real thing here we're teaching on, which is what's called identifying your avatar. And a lot of that, we haven't ever talked too much about it in these terms. However, we've talked a little bit about this, and what the avatar really means is getting very, very specific with your audience, with your actual prospect. What does your prospect look like? You start asking these particular questions. What's the biggest problems facing your perfect prospect, the person that you want to talk to, the person that you want to attract into your business? This is who your avatar is, okay? This is your target market, the niche you want to go after, which more than likely, if you're just getting started in this industry, the easiest one is to pick an avatar that is almost, if not identical to you. And it may be just a little bit different than you, depending on life circumstances and who you are and where you're at the time. But you've got to know how to resonate with that avatar. And the biggest questions you've got to ask are these. What's the biggest problem to solve for this avatar? What's the biggest problem they're facing? What are the questions that they ask themselves every single day about the biggest problems that they want to solve in their life? Okay, so what's the biggest question, and what are the biggest things that you want to that they're asking themselves? Because you're going to speak to those. Okay, you want to know what their favorite precise interests are. Okay, what are their favorite things? Are they moviegoers? Do they love action movies, or do they read books on the law of attraction? Do they read books on finance? Or do they read books on development and time management? Or are they the party person that goes completely to every concert that they can, and is essentially, you're going to find them out and about in social situations and at networking events and parties and everything else all the time, very active in their community, involved in their community. Do they like being around people? You might find people that like to go to fundraisers and charities and organizations and set up stuff like that. They may be really active in their church. These are all different things, all different precise interests that people do that are their dominant motivations for life. And then if you can tie in their precise interests of what they do and the questions they're asking themselves, the questions they want answers to, like how can I make more money? How can I have more free time? How can I have more money to donate to my charities? How can I have more time to study and take the time to read the books I want to read, develop my spirituality? Or it may just be, let me get the bills paid with my family, and I'm not on red alert. I'm not high alert on adrenaline and having too much month left at the end of the money. Okay, that in translation for those of you who didn't get that last statement, that's running out of money before the month is over. And still having bills, and that feeling of paying the cable bill one month and the electricity the one month. I've been there, and I know how you feel. And one of the things is there's people out there that need that. There's people out there that need that question answered, and we have systems in place to bring people through a process that can start getting some of those questions answered and solving some of those problems. So we're going to have this avatar training in our team that really helps you to define your avatar. That's actually going to come in just in the basic level. As we talked about it tonight, just coming in the basic level in our team, you're going to get training to access to this new training that you're going to get inside our team site once you get started with Team Be the Change. Once again, for those of you who are here for the first time tonight, if you haven't gotten started yet and you've been looking for a place to get started, you've been waiting for a place to get started, didn't know how to get started, it's actually real simple. The person that sent you this link has it coded to them, so all you have to do is right below this video, there's a button there that says Join Team BTC Now, and you just got to click that button, start filling your information, and get started. And that's one way that will get you going, get you in the team site. You can have access to that training that's coming up, as well as all the other cool training that we have in there to get you started, as well as all the automated systems that we have set up for you to plug into and learn about in our team. So with that, I just want to quickly throw it on over to Amy after I went through that. You got any thoughts there on anything I talked about?
Well, it's all awesome, and it's just dead on as far as what has created, at least from talking from my own personal experience, the things that you talked about, solving people's problems and providing value for people that are looking for what you have, like what you, the knowledge that you have about certain things that can help them in their lives. I mean, that's basically how I've done everything that I've done. I just brought in another new guy, and when Andrea, he went through and the getting started training and filled everything out, and she said, "Why did you join Empower Network?" And he said, "Because I watched one of Amy's videos on YouTube." I mean, like 90% of my team has said that, and all I'm doing is sharing, sharing my story and helping people solve their, people can relate because I was broke and now I'm not, and I'm a single mom, and a lot of people on my team are a single mom, or I'm a musician or whatever, and just being able to just share ourselves and connect with people is one part of that. And the other part is just when you provide value to your audience, they start to know you, like you, and trust you. And when you can give them proof that you have something that can help them, then it's like a no-brainer. They just want what you have. So it's awesome what you just said, Chris, because it is like it's the biggest piece of the puzzle, which is why I'm so adamant about telling people how important it is to stay in touch with, follow up with people and send them to your blog and send them your videos and stay in front of them because that's what we're doing. We're solving their problems and delivering value. So it's really not rocket science. I mean, you guys know, I'm not a technical person at all. I mean, a little. I mean, I've learned some things over the years that I've been marketing on the internet, but I'm not like Jordan or you. For me, it's more just about connecting with people, and it's as simple as that. And if anybody's on here right now that joined because they saw a video, like I know anyone on my team, I think pretty much anybody on my team that's on the Hangout right now, chime in the comments and say if you joined because of a video. I mean, that's all I've done to generate the success that I've had here, and I love that. I love that also when people join me, I can plug them into the team site and leverage my time and give them way more value than they could ever get from me one-on-one. So, and I think that's why our team members are having so much success. It's not me trying to manage everybody on my team by myself, and I'm also able to leverage all of the knowledge that we have in our team, like Chris and Jordan and Landon and Angela and Thomas and Perig and the other members of our leadership council have so much knowledge, and when someone joins our team, they get access to all of that. It's all on the team site. It's not just me, it's all of us, and so it's awesome, And so what Chris was talking about as well, about the third party thing, it's like, even if you don't know how to train a new person, that doesn't matter. You have access, when you join our team, you have access to a team site with a bunch of people that do know how to train your people. So that's the third party thing, just let people know, like, you have access to that. You are their key to access that. And whether or not you're the one doing the training, that doesn't matter. You have access to that training, not just for yourself, but for the people that join you. And so let them know that. That's it's a big incentive for people to want to, lock arms with you, because you are the person that can give them access to all of that. And it doesn't have to be you doing all the training and all the work. So yeah, awesome, good stuff.
Welcome back, Amy. I love it. It's been a while. You've gone on these rants a couple times. I'm loving it. Missed it. Thank you. I'm gonna move right along here unless Jordan's got something here for any of that. Okay, cool, man. Right on. We're gonna keep rolling. So the other things here, because we got to get out our cool special guests, our dynamite couple, our surprise couple that we're going to be bringing out here real soon. But before I do that, I'm going to touch on some of these other concepts. We're going to bring them out. We're going to interview them, see what's going on with them, and then we're going to finish up with some more teaching and some more concepts that we're going to leave for you at the end of this of this night, we're going to attempt to keep it under 2 hours like normal. We may go a few minutes past the hour if we need to, but we're going to give you what you need rather than having a time limit on it, if that's okay with all of you guys tonight, okay? So what I'm going to go do now is I'm going to get back into a few of the things that we're talking about here, because as a marketer, this is an evolution, and a lot of people come in and they think that because the person who marketed to them made it seem so easy, they tend to think that there's not a time when it's difficult, and you're always going to come up against walls and things that you don't understand and things that you do that for some reason nothing happens. There's no response from it. No signups, no sales, no traffic, no hits to your blog. Things are going to happen like that, especially if you're a new marketer. And so if that happens, what I'm telling you now, let me just give you a quick inoculation here, a little vaccination for you, so that you don't expect that everything happens overnight. Although some people, they just don't get in their own way and it just happens, like the couple we're going to bring out here soon. But what I'm saying is there's going to be things you're going to run up against. And, if you want to just quit, when things get tough the first time around, you can join, the other dead bodies along the side of the road that essentially they gave up, and that's how you fail. And in fact, that's the only way you fail, because it's a constant failing forward process. I fail on a daily basis. I do things all the time that don't work, and all the time. And the difference is, instead of seeing something not work, getting ready to slit my wrists over it, I go, okay, let me try this again. And let me look at what I did, and let me see if I can look at it again. And let me see if I can do it again a little differently, and let's see if this works. And you know what? There's times when that took 10 to 15 times before that worked. And it took me, for a lot of you who are here for the first time tonight who haven't heard my story, I'm not going to tell you my story right now, but I will tell you this. It took me 8 months to make money online. And if I can stick around that long, so can you. So don't expect that because I teach you these concepts tonight, you're going to be able to take all of these and instantly have a home run tomorrow by doing all of them. Now, what I will teach you tonight is going to move you forward and give you more ammunition in terms of being able to attack your target market and attack your strategy in a more pronounced, defined, understood way that is more clear and precise in the way that you're targeting people and in the way that you're bringing people through your funnel, okay? This is the type of stuff, just so you guys know, when I do my personal coaching, my consulting business that I had and my SEO company that I ran before this, I charge $800 an hour. I'm not saying that to just say, hey, I'm great, hey, I'm cool, look at me and be impressed by me, because I don't care, right? But what I am saying is people paid me a lot of money because I helped them make a lot of money. I helped one of the most successful internet marketers online, period, who makes over $500,000 a month now. I was his main person, his strategist that put his stuff together and sold stuff inside of his funnels, okay? So it's not like we haven't been there before. I've been blessed to be able to be around some of the most brilliant genius marketers in the world and be able to surround myself every day with them as well, and Amy and Jordan and the other leaders on our team as well. So just so you know, this is coming from the top, okay? This is not coming from some theory that I read a book on, okay? So just like you don't want a pilot who says, hey, I read a book about this and this is my first flight. No, you want them to go through flight school, and you want them to have had some experience and success already before you get on that plane and strap in. So, and another quick thing here, we've actually got a cool live real-time update here going on right now, because over the weekend, I went down and worked with Amy on some of the cool stuff. She's an expert in certain video marketing and certain things, and that she's done for a long time that's very successful. What Amy and I did this weekend is we put our heads together, and we kind of filled in the gaps for each other and some of the things we needed, and we put together a new ad and a new funnel for her, filmed a new video and everything. and she just got the ad approved like as we were coming on the Hangout. We popped on a few minutes before, and so it's running already. And before we jump into this here, I just actually want to, I know this is good because I heard you said you were getting some proof from this already, Amy. So if you could just quickly talk about this before I get into these other things, because it actually is perfectly congruent with what I'm going to teach you to have this example in here. Amy, you have a new ad that just got approved, and you said you're getting leads already from this. How many leads have you gotten since we even started this Hangout?
We've gotten 5.
Does it tell you how much has been spent?
I just got another one. I've got, yeah. What's that?
Does it tell you?
Can I see how much has been spent?
Yeah, all you got to do is go into your ads manager, because I just want to know that right now, because if that's within the last hour, I'm willing to bet that's like 70 cents a lead or 80 cents a lead, which would be phenomenal.
Let's see. I've spent $19.
$19, 6 leads. So that's, what are we at, $3 a lead right now?
Mm-hmm.
$19 since you started. What was your budget for the day, for the 24-hour period?
I just started it at 20 just to test it.
Okay, so that's why. We need to put it at 10 for that particular one and do 2 different precise interests. That's actually that's why it's $3 a lead right now. It will actually cut in half as soon as you do that. That's happened to me many times. It's happened to Angela. It's happened to a few other people as well, and Landon. But $10 for each precise interest. And
typically when you
I have
start
2 ads going at 10. They're just one's desktop and one's mobile.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
But the total is 19. That's between the 2 of those. It's been spent.
Okay.
You should see some more stuff flow in from that too, because when you do a sponsored story, typically what happens, especially when the ad gets approved so late at night, and it blows through your entire budget in a very short time period. It typically blows through your entire budget like that, and then over the course of the next few hours, you see the results roll in from that. So, either way, $3 a lead for the quality of leads that you're getting on Facebook is phenomenal. I mean, people, that's a big thing people look at. They say, well, I'm spending, I can get leads for 50 cents. Who cares? Yeah. Like, I don't care what you can get leads for. I care if the leads actually are quality and if they convert and if they turn into more money.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was spending about $2.50 a lead, and a lot of people would say, well, that's too much. Yeah, well, I also spent $725 and made $10,000. So, you look at that, I'd gladly spend $5 a lead to spend $1,500 and make $10,000. I mean, it's all.
Yeah, I mean the difference here is that $3 a lead, for most times is a lot of people run cold traffic and pay $3 a lead for cold traffic, for traffic that literally people clicked on a banner. She's getting a $3 lead from a full story, from a major content push. Where they had a lot of engagement before they actually opted in, which means this is a very, very, very qualified person who's coming in for that $3. And so, all we have to talk about is, the cool part here, which is my cost per lead is a little lower, but it's because of the way I do things, and I've tweaked things a lot, and I've been working on it for months, right? Well, but let's look at my numbers. Just like Jordan was talking about, hey, if it's a good lead, it's a good lead. But let me tell you some of the few numbers here with me. My cost per customer acquisition, so how much money I actually have to spend in order to make a $25 sale, is about $40 or $35, $36, something like that, right in there, $36 to $40, depending on what I'm doing. And so a lot of you would look at that and be like, well, wait a second, you didn't make your money back. Well, for one, there's recurring subscriptions, so that's monthly. And 2, because of the upgrade rates, each person that comes in, for me personally, and me and Jordan worked out these numbers here recently, if I remember correctly, Jordan, my average customer value, and that's not with any recurring monthly subscriptions, but that's just from my own personal production and the people that what they upgrade to, how many products they buy, averages out to each person is worth $1,140, I believe it was.
Something like that.
So here's the real question: would you spend $40 to make $1,160? I think 10 out of 10 times, 11 out of 10 times, we would say yes. And that's why the incomes we have every month are based on systems that we can test and track and tweak and make better. And so we're all going through this process in many different marketing strategies and doing what we do. And so, what we're doing with Amy right now is we put one together, and it's an evolving process that you're going to see. At night, those things always go up, but in the morning, as that thing runs, Amy, you're going to see that thing probably cut in half when you wake up.
Yeah, no, I know. I've done the same exact type of ad before, and
Yeah.
I know that that's what always happens is like, yeah, by the morning I'll have a bunch more leads.
Yeah,
And
so we'll see how it averages out
I'm not
here.
worried about it. Not to mention all the shares and all the viral stuff that'll start to happen over time, which is what happened before, but I think it'll happen even more now. So.
Yeah. And by the way, for those of you that are wondering what we're talking about right now, that training that we have available that is a hybrid of regular traditional paid advertising and social media is a training that you get at the $500 level when you join our team. You come in at the basic level. You also have the inner circle at $100, which gets you access to all the coolest interviews of the best internet marketers in the world. And then also the $500 product, which is a full Costa Rica Mastermind intensive product that people paid $3,000 at to be at live workshop for people to learn how to build their businesses and triple their businesses. And from that, when you buy that product as a bonus in our team, only when you join with Team Be the Change will you have access to the training that we're talking about right now, the special hybrid training that can put your business on steroids that we're talking about right now, that gets you social shares, viral shares, and everything. It's awesome. So, all right, now did I see that right? Yes, Jordan, cool, awesome. You're getting leads now too. Right on. This is just awesome as we speak, right? So here's some of the things that go into some of these ads. As we now talked about this, there's going to be a few things that we're going to evaluate. We're going to make this ad just sing and dance with Amy. We're going to make it sing and dance with Jordan, and we'll probably report these updates next week.
Jordan's singing and dancing in my video with my kids in the background. It's hilarious. He doesn't even realize it.
He doesn't even realize it. It's awesome. So for those of you, yeah, back there, that really was him. Yes.
I was just worried the whole time that I just kept telling Olivia, I'm like, just don't break your legs because your mom will kill me. We're having a long distance jumping contest off of the swings, and the first time her daughter did it, I seriously thought she was gonna jump from like the highest point, which was like 7 or 8 feet in the air. I'm like, she's gonna break her legs or something, you know. Well, she had a little more of a system down to it, and she beat me almost every single time. She'd fly through the air and land like 2 feet past me, and Angela actually face planted onto the ground. She tried doing it, and she ended up falling. That is difficult, you know. When you're a little kid, swinging and jumping off is a whole lot easier than when I'm like 180 pounds and a lot bigger than I was when I was a little kid. So. Olivia's like a dart flying through the air, and I'm like a rock made out of feathers. I'd go like 1.5 feet and then just hit the ground. But it was fun. Nevertheless, it was fun.
Well, it's pretty funny because here I am making this like serious video, and Jordan and my kids were like screaming in the background the entire time.
I know.
And you can see them flying off the swing. You see, you're flying off the swing in my video. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
It's all natural, but that's Amy's life. The kids are around making noise, having fun all the time. That's just a part of it. So it was a total reality video, reality TV for you right there. That's that freaking reality TV on TV ain't really reality. This stuff's reality, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So all right, so some of the things about this ad. We're going to report back these results in a week. So for those of you who are still skeptical and you're still wondering, I need some more meat and potatoes here, and I need some more proof. Well, for one, if you're opted into autoresponders,
just got another lead.
Yes. So if you're opted in, whoever sent you here, ask them to send you, the Team Breckenridge video, the Denver video, the Hawaii video. Ask them to send you the stuff that shows proof of the benefits of what we've done, and then get inside our team and see the rest of it. But there's a few laws here that we talk about in our ads. The first one being congruency. And obviously, this is one of the easiest ones to talk about, but the easiest one that people forget. Because what we tell people to do is, for one, you focus on, let me get traffic, and you focus so much on traffic that you forget that the traffic that you're attracting to your blog or attracting to your capture page is not always what those people are expecting. A lot of people will say anything they can or go and do crazy things to get visitors to their sites. However, what they say will sometimes not necessarily be in alignment with what's on that capture page or on that blog. And it's one of the biggest disconnects, because people have to go step by step. And so they focus on one thing at a time, and they focus on getting the traffic. But what they didn't focus on is making sure that how they got the traffic was giving them the right expectation by the time they got to the blog. If you're doing, as a not great example, the first example, I'll give you a better example in a minute, but this will help you understand it for those of you that are very analytical. If you're going to do search engine optimization, which all that's changing these days, and you definitely don't want to do that as a main strategy, although we have that training that's going to be updated in the team site for you as these things have all changed. There's new Google stuff happening and cool stuff, and if you want to get into it, we don't recommend it as a primary strategy, but for search engine stuff, if people are searching for something, if you were able to rank, doing whatever you learned how to do for search engine optimization, and if people were searching for one thing and you were able to rank for it, but then once you ranked for it, the actual article that you ranked didn't really talk too much about what people searched for. If it was, how to make money online, what someone searched for, and you ranked for how to make money online, which, by the way, don't do. It's extremely competitive unless you're a master at it, but if you talk about how to make money online and then you go into other things that aren't relevant to making money online, people are going to be like, I don't want to, why am I here? I don't want to be here. And your your title needs to be something about making money online, and your first paragraph needs to be, hey, you're here because, I'm going to tell you about how to make money online, and here's the 3 things that, I learned about this, and here's what you need to know, or whatever, right? But if you were like, how to make money online in your title, and the first paragraph was, making money, or not even making money, but something completely different, and like, hey, here's how to have a blog, that doesn't always equate. Some people are like, well, you do it by blogging, and let me show you how to blog. Well, if you bridge that well, you got to be careful, but you got to stay on topic so that people feel like you're answering their question. And you see that always goes back to the avatar training, the getting your prospect, getting inside their mind, entering into the conversation inside their head, and answering the questions that they're asking themselves, okay? So the same thing goes on social media. If you're sharing your blog on Facebook and you have a headline on Facebook that says, hey, I wrote a blog post about, whatever, how the law of attraction helps you in making money online or whatever, right? Your blog post better damn well be about that, okay? Or else if people go there and it has a different slant to it that doesn't speak to that person's mind and answer the questions, that person's going to click off of there and you've wasted that. So that's what being congruent is making sure the expectation on the next exposure, on the next thing that they're clicking on to see, is the proper expectation. They're getting what they expect. That's the only way they're going to get to the next stage and go past it to the next stage, which is probably going to be seeing a sales video after they enter their email to find out more about what they were expecting to get in the first place. Okay? So, if you had a blog post about, how the law of attraction helps you make money, then your blog post should lead to a capture page that says how to, make money with, how to make money online using the law of attraction. Enter your email address here to find out how, and then you've got a video that talks about how that is, and here's how we do it. So, just being congruent is very, very important. Making sure that the expectation of the person is the same at each step of the process. So before I move on here, Just got a quick check-in here, one-word check-in. Any check-ins from Amy? I see you unmuted yourself. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just want to say the other night when Chris and Jordan were over, my dad came over and I watched Chris explain this to my dad. My dad's about to republish a book that totally flopped the first time, and he's like redoing the cover and the title and everything. And it was so cool because this doesn't just apply here. This applies everywhere. So Chris spent all this time with my dad just really helping him understand this exact thing about congruency, and it was you know, like he really knows what he's talking about, and he's right, and it is a bit, it's such an important thing. But I just wanted to point out that it's not just with capture pages, it's with marketing anything. So if you're marketing a book and you know there's any kind of incongruency in the picture with the title and the fonts and the everything, like there's a lot to it. And the beautiful thing about this and about Chris is that he is an expert about this stuff. I mean, that's how this whole conversation started. I told my dad that Chris is like an SEO genius, and all of a sudden they started having this conversation. And you know, and Chris used to charge a lot of money to teach people this stuff, and he does it for us for free. You know, like he gives us all of this knowledge and training for free on our team site. So I'm just so grateful for that, Chris, and I know my dad's really grateful for all the time that he's spent teaching him, you know, just kind of pointing some things out to him, because you know, what's really interesting, and my dad is a perfect example of this as well, is that when you create something, whether it be a capture page or an ad or in my dad's case a book cover, because you created it, you think it's awesome and you think it's going to work.
Yeah, you buy it, right? You know?
Yeah, but what you think isn't what matters. What matters is what the marketplace thinks. And there's like a lot of subconscious stuff that goes on in people's minds that determine whether or not they're going to click the buy button or whether or not they're going to buy that book or whatever it is. And a lot of it has to do with if there's confusion, right? A confused mind always says no. So like if there's not congruency, then they're not going to click the buy button. It doesn't matter how pretty your capture page is. It doesn't matter how pretty you are. It doesn't matter how beautiful your language is. If it's not congruent, they're going to be confused and it's not going to work. And I love what you said about the blog post, because I think a lot of times, and I'm totally guilty of this. Like I take notes every time anybody on this team opens their mouth. But you know, when you write a blog post, I think a lot of people put the same exact thing at the bottom of every blog post, and it's not necessarily congruent with that particular blog post. Like, you know, we want to have a call to action that's going to send somebody somewhere that is congruent with what they just read on your blog. So if you're talking about the law of attraction and at the bottom of your blog, and then I'm going to go change my blog like tomorrow, because I have like the same thing on the bottom of every blog post, and it's not congruent with like half of my messages, or just there's a disconnect there. I mean, it's congruent with a lot of my messages, but it's not congruent with all of them. And what's beautiful about our team is that we have all of these capture pages, tons of them to choose from, that you can literally use when you're on our team, just by, you know, putting your AWeber username in our back office. You can pick any of those capture pages and they'll be coded to you, and they speak to different markets. So if you're writing about the law of attraction, we have a capture page for that. If you're writing about making $1,000 a day, we have a capture page for that. So you can just pick the right capture page to link to at the bottom of your blog post. I mean, it just makes so much sense. So that's the whole thing.
And we've got more coming.
I was just going to say, but wait, there's more.
You know, that something you said in the middle there, Amy. I know we got to get pulling these two. We got to get pulling these two out here because it's already been 90 minutes. And but something you said in the middle there, Amy, and it's funny because, you know, me and you have had this conversation back and forth. And then I remember it was a couple months ago, you're like, Jordan, what would you say to me if I asked you that question? Because I had come to you and asked you a question, and you're like, I'm going to tell you exactly what you always tell me, Jordan. I'm going to tell you this. And I'm like, you're right. You're absolutely right. You see, what most people do, and that's why if you listen to like Shauna last week, this was so powerful with what she does. A lot of people will put something together and they want to get advice about it before they ever put something out. They think it's great. They think whatever. What matters, like you said, Amy, is what the marketplace thinks. And so typically someone will be afraid to take action on something because they want it to be absolutely perfect. And so they'll want to go get advice from their mentor, their sponsor, the leader in the team, the person who knows writing ad copy, you know, their brother, their uncle, whatever. And none of that shit matters. I mean, it matters. It can certainly help. It can certainly help. Like if you were to put something together and come to myself or Chris or Amy and say, can you help us tweak this? Yeah, that would certainly help. And you can do that every single Wednesday night on the all-in call. But here's where it helps the most. When you create something and you put it out to a specific marketplace that you feel it's targeted to, and then you actually get that marketplace to take a look at it and take action, whether they say, no, I'm not interested, you'll know because they haven't clicked on it, or you'll know because they haven't opted in, or you'll know because they haven't purchased something. Or if they actually, your marketplace actually converts into leads, like Amy's getting leads right now. She is going out there and putting it into action, getting those leads. And she has to send a lot more traffic there before she can decide, is this a quality ad or is this not a quality ad? Is it working or is it not working? Are the leads converting or are they not converting? Then you come back, like Shauna does every single week, come back to the all-in call and say, all right, I did what you told me to do. Here's the results I got. How can I make it better? How can I tweak it? How can I make it better? And sometimes what we'll find is we'll say, you're doing great. You don't need to make it better. Like I remember Ken Montoya was asking a question about something on the all-in call, and me and Chris are like, dude, what? You want to get better than where you're at right now? Like you're already good. Your marketplace is responding properly accordingly. Like you're getting good results. Just keep running with it. That's awesome.
In fact, he had cost per lead was really low, and I'm like,
no.
what are you asking here?
Yeah, what do you want? I can't help you improve that. I don't think I can.
That you have a winning formula, and it's all dialed in, and all you have to do is add marketing budget, and like.
But that's just so important there, folks. Is test in the marketplace, and then go to someone. You see, anyone who's going to coach you can coach you a whole lot better. Like if you're starting from zero, they could tell you exactly what they would do, but the bottom line is it might not work for you. Rather, you go out there and you put stuff into action. Then they can see what you've done, how you've done it, and help you tweak it to make it better. That it also still fits you and what you're trying to get across. Biggest thing.
Perfect. Thanks, man. We're going to get these people out here, and what we're going to do is, if it's okay with everyone, because I think a lot of people want to get more into, law of third party, want to talk about that, law of precise interest, why certain videos don't convert sales and why certain ones do. We've touched on that, but there are some other stuff in there about it, and how to just, spread the secret sauce into all of it. And so we're going to get into some of that stuff, but I want to get our guests out here, and let's talk with them and see, because see what they're doing, because I've been watching, they're blogging like every day, and literally did this from blogging, never having an internet marketing experience before. Crazy. I mean, just once again, the second week in a row, we have an amazing success story that we're going to be able to share with our team, and that's why this just keeps happening. I mean, it just keeps happening, that we've got people that come in and they get out of their own way, and yes, they have struggles, yes, they have things they go through, but they still manage to pull this thing off. And if you can take in 30 days and pull out a $5,000 month your first month from no experience,
blogging about something that has nothing to do with making money,
nothing to do with it,
whole other niche.
Whole other
you can blog about anything. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah. So, and Jordan, I see here 3 leads for $5 so far with your new ad. Awesome, man. Awesome. So it looks like you're back on track too. Just rolling along. Yeah, you're pretty happy about that right now, aren't you?
Yeah. It's sexy, man. Well, that thing you and I talked about. That one special little secret thing that we talked about that I'm not going to share here tonight, but maybe on the $500 level something I might share that little thing. Sometime soon.
Okay.
Yeah,
speaking of that, because I sent the link out, Pamela. If as soon as you want to grab that link, it's in your Facebook to pop on. Maybe I should have actually prefaced, you need to have a Google Plus account for this, so a Gmail account, Google Plus account, in order to pop on here. So go ahead and sign into your Google Plus account, and then check your Facebook, and the link for there, I just sent it to you in a private message. Give you a second to go do that. I totally forgot to prep you on that beforehand, and I'm sorry about that. But what I'm going to do here is, Jordan, I want to check with you real quick and talk a little bit about what we're doing tomorrow, finally, about this $500 day, how to have your
Right.
$500 challenge. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I mean, some of you know what was going on with that, because we essentially we launched this thing before we went on vacation last month, before we got our laptops stolen, before the whole launch happened and everything. And again, one of the biggest hindrances was us getting our laptops stolen. We went a few weeks without computers, and that messed up everything that we were doing with that. And then when we actually did have our computers back, it was like, we couldn't just start off with that. We were playing catch up from all the things that we hadn't got done. So I want to apologize for that first and foremost. But really the goal with it is to help brand new people have a $500 day within their first month. Could go into why we want to do that, but just understand that, except with the exception of people who are in like real estate, with the exception of people who are working on high commissioned sales, with the exception of those people, the average person who has a job, even sales jobs, typically will not make $500 in a day very easily. It's not easy to make $500 a day in almost anything else. Not even in the network marketing industry. Like, I think about the previous network marketing opportunities I've been involved in. I never had a $500 day because we earned smaller commissions. We didn't earn 100% commissions. One of the things here is it's a lot easier to have a $500 day when all you have to do is make a $500 sale. You have a $500 day. It's a pretty simple process. But really, there is a formula to it. There are some things that you got to get in, you got to do right away. And so our goal is to help more people have their first $500 day within a month. Because I remember my first day where I made over $500, and when I went out I was living in my dad's basement, about a room a little smaller than this office that I'm in right now. That was my entire office, bedroom, everything. And I was living in that room, and I had my first $500 day about 7-8 months into my business. I remember going out to the garage and telling my dad that he's like, Jordan, I'd have to be working triple overtime, meaning working on a Sunday on a holiday in order to make more than $500 in a day, and I'd have to work an 8-hour day. Do you realize that you just did that? And you made that off of like a few commissions. Now, at that point in time, I made that off of selling about, I think, like $1,700-1,800 worth of stuff, right? Because I was making 30 or 40% commissions. I don't remember on those products, right? But I remember that day and how it shifted everything for me, because when that happened, I finally said, you know what? Like, there's no going back. That's what I make in like a 2-week paycheck at that point in time. And so our goal is to help more people have their first $500 day a whole lot faster. That's what the $500 challenge is all about. So in lieu of the fact that we made a bunch of, we got our computer stolen, everything got messed up last month, there's going to be some rules on how brand new people can get involved in the $500 day challenge, and how you can get access to. Tomorrow we're doing that specialized training that people who have sponsored one person and own up to the $500 level, meaning they own the $25, the $100, and the $500 product, who own that and have sponsored their first person. It's typically going to be within a certain time period, but since we had everything go haywire, anyone who has sponsored anyone, if you sponsored one person and you own the $500 product, we're doing a live webinar tomorrow night where we're going to be teaching you how to have your first $500 day within your first month in the team. So, and with that being said, if you own the $500 product and you've sponsored someone, shoot a message over to the support on the team site, and we'll get you plugged into that. We'll get you onto that live webinar. If you have sponsored someone, if you have not yet purchased the $500 product, buy it. And if you've sponsored someone, you can get onto that live training as well, where we're going to do that. We'll also give you access to the recording, and sometime over the next few days here, that's going to be in place. It's part of our upgrade process. It's one of the reasons why so many people are upgrading to the $500 level right off the bat, and one of the big reasons why you want to make sure you own that product, because you want to get those commissions right away. Your people are more likely to upgrade to the $500 level. Right now, I think team-wide, throughout, we've averaged out our entire leadership and some other people, we're at about 25% of the people are going to the $500 level. I see that number being 40 to 50% in the next few months, meaning 1 out of 2 to 2.5 people that you sponsor at the $25 level will upgrade to the $500 level because of the stuff that we're rolling out. It's not a one-time thing. It's a plan that's going to be happening over time. And me and Chris and Amy and the other leadership have been chatting about it. As it rolls out over time period here, it's going to just keep getting better and better and better and better. And with that being said, again, get the $500 product, sponsor one person, get on the live training tomorrow, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I welcome Pam and
David.
David.
All right. Hey, how we doing, Pamela
Hi,
and
everyone.
David Rosashka? How are you?
Yeah, we're good.
Good. How are you?
Good. Glad to have you on.
Thank
Glad
you.
you could
We're
make
very
it out.
grateful to be on. It's like meeting you guys for the first time in person, almost.
I love the New Zealand. It's New Zealand, right?
Yes.
Accent. Oh, I love New
Thank
Zealand.
you.
Where in New Zealand are you?
We're in a place called Tauranga, which is in the North Island of New Zealand. We've got 2 islands in New Zealand. They're called the North Island and the South Island.
I spent 6 months there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wicked.
And I'm very familiar. Oh. And I love the North Island. I spent 5 months on the North Island and 1 month on the South Island. So
Oh, nice.
I'm coming to visit as soon as you tell me I
Great.
can.
Yep. Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Team Be the Change goes down under. Oh yeah, better
Yes.
believe it.
A
We're
down
gonna
under
come do an
retreat,
event.
I think.
Well, if you guys keep up the pace you're doing, before long we're gonna have to come down there for an event for everybody.
You're
Mhm.
most
Yeah, definitely.
welcome.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit now. First off here, David and Pamela. I had the coaching call with Pamela. This is the first time I've actually had a chance to talk to you and meet you, Dave. So good to meet you finally after communicating in the team. Finally, face to face, had a chance to talk. And so right now, Pamela, you're a full-time midwife,
Yes.
and David just finished school. As far as we know, okay, and so we know that you had joined, and then we kind of had a disconnect in being able to connect for about a month to 45 days, and then we finally got on the phone and we talked about a strategy. And this is one of the things where she said, you know what, I'm just going to have to be blogging, and I'm going to set my intentions. I'm going to set my dates for when I'm going to be able to upgrade to the next product so that I can leverage my commissions more. And you know what? She set those intentions, she filled it out, and by God, she met all of them and was able to get all in. And within the first 30-day span that they started on this thing, Pamela blogging every day. I mean, I see her blog posts every day. I see them. She's got the juicing challenge she's doing. She's got certain posts. She's reblogging stuff every once in a while. She reblogged my post just yesterday or day before that. And then it did another post inspired by it, and I did read it right before the hangout, by the way. So I'm always actually reading and watching the videos and paying attention. I may not always let you know, but I'm always watching. And so I'm so happy and excited that you guys were able to pull this off and get going. Your first 30 days of really working the business, you've been able to get your investment back and earn over $5,000 in commissions. So I just want to turn it over to you and go ahead and tell us your story as to how this all came about for you, both of you. So go ahead.
Well, I spent a lot of time on Facebook, and your ad, Chris, came up on my Facebook Law of Attraction feed on my wall.
It works.
It worked. And I clicked on your link, watched your video, went straight to the David Sharp video. And is that video 80 minutes long? It's quite a long video, isn't it?
It was like 45 minutes or something, like 47, 48.
And I was captivated by what he was saying, and I spent the 40 minutes looking for in authenticity, and I couldn't find it. I was seeing where he was being inauthentic because I was sure it was a scam, and I couldn't find it in the man. And I said to David, oh, this looks just so perfect, I'm going to do it. And he said, go for it. So I just signed up at the front end, and we had a Skype about a month later. And I originally my intention was to do the blogging, but the WordPress, the technology of the WordPress for me got in the way of that a lot. So I decided to wait till the Blog Beast came out, and then I thought the day the Blog Beast comes out, then I'm I'm blogging every day, which I have. So in the meantime, I set up a Facebook marketing page, and I just I was looking at the Team Be the Change website, and I looked at some of the training that Perig had done about taking that first step and doing a Facebook ad, or just getting into action and just putting it out there. It might not be perfect. So that inspired me. So I set up a marketing page, and then I just started writing my story just from my heart about why I was doing this, what I was up to, because a lot of my friends were asking, what is this thing that you're doing? And then one of my colleagues, she's also a midwife, messaged me, and she's unfortunately Kylie Taylor. Hello,
Yeah.
Kylie. She's our only one sign up, and she's gotten all in. She signed up 4 more people, and Courts D and Tarina O'Connell are starting to get all in as well. So we're even getting pass-ups from our one sign up.
And that's the power of being all in.
Yeah. So that is that one person is so valuable, so valuable. And so she couldn't do midwifery anymore because of her health. So this is she's committed to she got all in, and she's doing it, and we're having our own team hangouts on a Tuesday night and laughing through most of them. But we're just we're doing what you're telling us.
Yeah.
Basically.
And that's awesome. And the funny thing is, you're already doing your own hangouts, which is, that's something that just speaks volumes. That's the leadership stuff we talk about. So.
And that was Kylie initiated that one actually as well. So because it's her team of 4 people, and we just jump in on it. So it's really lovely.
Yeah. Now, what time is it there right now?
It's 6:45 in the evening.
Can I ask you guys something? Because I believe I already know the answer. In fact, I'm like 90% sure that I know the answer to this. But there's some people who come in and they'll buy some of the products, or they'll even go all in, and they don't get results as quickly as you guys have. And I think back when I still had a job years ago, there was a lady who would constantly I'd go out to the coffee room, the water cooler area where the waitresses were, and she would constantly, I was applying the law of attraction. My life was becoming more and more amazing. I was happy all the time and whatnot, and she would constantly complain to me about how shitty her life was, and tell me how she'd pray for things to happen, pray for her life to get better, and it just didn't seem to get better. And the one thing I asked her, I said, now let me just ask you one thing really quick. When you're praying, and now she prayed to God, she was Christian, and I said, when you're praying to God, do you believe that He's going to answer your prayers? Do you believe that you're going to get your prayers answered? And she said no. Right, and that's the way I feel most people are when they do something. Well, now you guys, when you came in, you got all in. You had faith right away that you're going to make this happen. Like you just knew, even though you didn't know how. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the best part of the products for me personally was the first lesson of the 15K formula.
Yep.
When you set your vision.
Life changing.
I love what I do, but it's a hard job being on call, getting out of bed at 3 in the morning. My family misses out on me a lot, and I'm done with working long hours. I want to be with my family. I want to work from home, and that the why is so strong that I'm getting it no matter what. I don't care what it takes, and I don't think I've watched TV for 4 months.
That's awesome.
But inspired action is amazing. Like sometimes one of us will be up out of bed at 5 a.m. to do some training because we just want it so badly.
Yep.
Yeah. So massive action, but inspired action, there's a huge difference.
Yeah. With me, it was a little bit different. And by me about to tell this story, it's evidence of what breakthrough that I gotten through Empower Network. Quite a few years ago, on the 14th of February 1996, I had a life-changing moment where I was in a family that was successful, and I felt like I really didn't fit into my family. I was the square peg in the round hole type of black sheep in the family, which drove me to a place where I really didn't feel like I didn't fit into society, and I also used to question quite frequently what would people say at my funeral, and it would always be answered by, well, nobody cares about me. So one day, what I did is, I had a bad day at work, and I turned to having a few drinks with some mates, and what happened is I ended up being separated from my mates that night, and I started walking along a set of railway tracks, and I thought, like, this is it, you know, I don't want to live anymore. So what I did is I lay in front of the tracks and waited for a train to come along. And what happened that night is actually one did, and it ran over the lower half of my body. And I can remember lying on the ground with two paramedics on either side of me, frantically trying to save my life. And I said to them, can you please not tell my mother? Because I knew that would break her. Like, that moment would break her. I eventually lost consciousness and woke up 24 hours later with a nurse standing over the top of me, and she put her hand on my shoulder and said, David, do you realise what's happened? And I was like, no, what's happened? And she said, your accident was so severe that we had to remove cut both of your legs off, so you're a double amputee now. And I can remember feeling completely lost and vulnerable and just pissed off at the world, and I felt like I was on my own. I can remember being in the hospital, and I was in hospital for 3 months, and every night I couldn't sleep because my brain was going crazy, and every night at 5:45 a.m. I could hear trains going past every day, and every day that I heard those trains going past, it would break me a little bit more until I got to a stage where I didn't feel anything. I had no feeling at all. But little did I know that actually the hardest part was yet to come, what my true hell was yet to come. When I got home after being in the hospital, the phone calls stopped, the letters of encouragement, people got on with their lives, and that's when I had to deal with my own stuff and my own feelings, and that was devastating for me. So how I coped with it is I locked myself away for 4 years. I didn't venture outside my house for 4 years because it's like Chris said, I was scared of what people would think of me in the outside world. I was ashamed of who I was. Every time I woke up, every time I took a shower, it was a reminder of how low I'd got. So I kept myself in this safe little bubble at home until one moment when my mum approached me and said, David, I can't do this anymore. I can't see you destroy yourself anymore. You need to seek help. You need to see this counsellor. And I thought, yeah, whatever. You're like, I don't need help, you know, as you do, try and tough it out. But I went to the counsellor just to shut her up, really. But what I got is a life-changing moment, or the shift for me in that moment, was when she said that my own sister told her a year before that she thought I did die that day, because all I was a shell of a person, and just there was no soul to me whatsoever. So what I did is she put me onto a personal development program, which is called the Landmark Forum, and I attended the Landmark Forum, and what I really got from the Landmark Forum is just how much my family loved me, and how much of a load of shit that story was, of how I was worthless, how I didn't fit in, how I was a black sheep of the family. They've got this analogy in the Landmark Forum where they talk about a sporting arena. You've got the people in the stands observing people playing the game of life, and you've got the people on the field who are playing the game of life hard out, I was the people in the person in the stand, just observing life, not living at all. So what I got out of the Landmark Forum is I got to get out of the stands and start living for the first time. And then this brings me to now, which is the Empower Network. The major breakthrough that I got on in Empower Network is on Krista's Hangout, hearing Krista talk of her inspirational story of self-worth, of I can do this, drawing the line in the sand and saying enough is enough, it's my time to shine now, and just stepping through the fear and going for it. And that's something that resonated with me in my life, because that's what my life's all been about, has been thinking small and just not going for it in life. So she really inspired me to get all in with the Empower Network. She inspired me to now look in the mirror and look at the person through the mirror and look them in the eye and feel self-love. Whereas before that hangout, I was not able to do that. All I would see was hate. I'd hate that person for what I've done to myself and how I've become. So she taught me how to love myself again. The thing is, there's a beautiful analogy that I've learned through the Empower Network, is some people live for 90 years, whereas others live 1 year 90 times. So life is too short. You don't know when things are going to be taken away from you. Like, for example, my legs has been taken away, which means I can't do things. You never know, like, when people might pass on, and you might not be able, you might miss the moment. See, with Empower Network, this is your moment to shine. This is your moment where you can have the life that you want. So just go out there and do it. Like, if I can take on a train and win, you can take on an Empower Network and win. So that's my message.
Wow. Oh my God, I'm in a little shock right now. Wow.
No, I like well, first off, Dave, I love your story. I mean, that's powerful, man, and I'm definitely in awe right now of like what has happened and whatnot. But the cool thing that I see here as well is that Krista got involved for probably a lot of similar reasons. One, it might have been money in the beginning. I don't quite remember exactly why Krista got involved in the beginning, but she started having massive emotional breakthroughs, and like you said, she started loving herself. So much so that she wasn't even making money yet, but her life was completely transformed, and her life was more amazing because she just continued to listen to what we were talking about on these hangouts and surround herself with the people here, and decided that she was going to continue taking action. And one of the things Krista said, and I think this is just so powerful, is one of the big reasons why she didn't give up is because she was fully committed. She was all in financially, and that kept her around long enough to be able to have those breakthroughs and make her life better. Now she's affected your life in an amazing way, and you guys are going to go on to affect thousands of people's lives. It's that butterfly effect thing that goes on there. And one of the things I want everyone to really take in here, I wrote a really long email about this years ago. Just imagine for a moment, imagine if you were to give up right now. Imagine if you were to give up, how many people's lives would not be changed? And then imagine if you decide right now that you're going to go on and you're going to become all you can be, and you're going to change your life, and you're going to become a better person, and you're going to just go out there and be amazing, and you're going to inspire someone, and you might inspire thousands of people, but you might inspire that one person that goes on to completely transform things. And the analogy I used is you might inspire that one person in the back of the room that goes out there and builds a team of 10,000 people, and now every single year they're building water wells in third world countries and helping thousands of people around the world every year to get clean water for drinking or whatever it is they're doing. So understand that you are being, Mark Hoverson always said this, if you can go out and achieve your greatness, if you can go and become great and you don't do it, you're being selfish, because you're holding back on so many more people whose lives you would change by simply taking action and becoming your best. So thank you, man. I mean, that's that's just so awesome. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to do.
See, it's also with you, Jordan. You're a big part of it as well. I just wanted to acknowledge you for the way that you've been being in the Hangouts as well. But all of the leadership team, like they've been empowering us to give us the breakthroughs that we need, like to be here. So you guys are amazing, amazing people. And it's more than just making money, like you guys say. It's empowering people.
Yeah,
Right.
we really got today really that it's actually not about the money. And I've got a story too, but I think I'll save that for next time. I don't think I can beat that one.
It's fine. It's all right.
If you can inspire one person and change one person's life, then how good does that feel? You know, you might have saved somebody's life tonight. You just don't know.
Right.
You never know.
It might be somebody that's feeling in that same space, and that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And that's what this is all about. It's empowering each other as human beings.
And that's why we call ourselves the powerful family as well.
That's awesome.
Well, you know, the beautiful thing about, I mean, and I see all these comments in the comment stream, and one of them is like, that story would make me buy, where's the link? I mean, I know, like, the more you share your story, David, and Pam, I'm sure you have an amazing story as well, you're going to have success with that. And that's the thing. We all have a story. Everybody has a story that has the potential and the power to inspire people. And different people are going to connect with different stories and different people, but if you just are brave enough, like I know that took a lot of courage tonight, David, for you to share that, and it's just, you know, thank you for trusting us enough to just open yourself up like that. But I mean, you touched me to the core, and I know that there's a lot of other people on here as well, and I know as you go out with that story, and the more you share it, the more people you're going to inspire. I can just see you both as like humongous leaders, because of the power that you have to inspire people with your story. And I just want to piggyback that by saying that every single person that's listening to this right now, you have a story too. It's different than David's, it's different than Pam's, it's different than mine, it's different than Chris's, it's different than Jordan's. We all have our own story. And every one of our stories has the power to really inspire people and help people take their lives to the next level in whatever way that looks like. David Sharp's story inspires people who might be struggling from drug addiction, or, you know, like everybody has some pain in their lives that people can relate to, and that's what gives us the power to inspire people. And I just love that you just came out here and did that tonight right off the bat. I mean, yeah, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
So I also think it's about taking your hand off the handbrake and it's letting go. And when you let go, there's something really big that you get out of from doing that. So that's my advice: is just let go and just play full out.
And I just want to acknowledge my beautiful husband, because that's the first time even I've heard that story to that extent. So that's the first time you've got a world debut of that story tonight, because I've heard the story, but I haven't felt it from the feelings that he felt. So I want to acknowledge him for that.
That's awesome. I want to acknowledge you too, David. That's an amazing story. And it takes courage to come out here and be authentic. The funny thing is that it can be the toughest thing when it's also the most natural thing, when we just allow it to be. And, you know, oftentimes we hold back from telling our story for fear of someone looking at it or making a judgment of it or something like that, when it really comes down to how many people can you completely transform. And you may be the one person that comes along in that person's path, and you tell them that one thing, and it unlocks everything. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen many times. It's the same thing as what Krista's story did for you, and the cycle continues forward, and now you're paying it forward too. And now you've just, you know, recently finished school, and now you're coming in full time to be a powerhouse couple. and do this thing together, and you've got the inspiration, you've got the why, you've got the purpose, you've got your clarity, you know why you're doing this thing, and you've been down, you've been out, you've been in a space in life where you know, hey, I know that path, and I'm not going to go down that again.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so I want people to chime in the comments. Who wants to go down under and have an event? That's what I'm asking.
And speaking of events, David, Hiley, and myself, we've bought our tickets to Miami, booked and paid
Yes!
for.
Yeah.
If we can do it from the bottom of the world, people in America, what's your excuse? Buy your tickets and get to the event.
Yeah.
We know the value that event's going to give us. We know being around people like Chris, Jordan, and Amy, times that by 6,000, around that for 3 days, you can't pay enough money for that. You can't pay enough money for that.
I see you guys on stage at that event.
Oh, yeah.
You do know she's like the Oracle of Delphi. She's like the Oracle. She sees it. She sees it.
Mhm.
So it's going to happen now. I hope you guys know that. So that's so awesome. Seriously, thank you so much. It's just so cool to see the people that step up and don't make any excuses for themselves. And here we go. I mean, we were just talking about the events at the beginning of the hangout, and here we are. You're doing everything that's asked of you, that you were, shown to do, and you're even taking it all the way from down under all the way to Miami. I mean, that's for everyone here. Let this be seen and let this be witnessed right here and right now, that someone can just not make any excuses whatsoever, and look what can happen. I mean, they went all in, okay? They went all in. They didn't hold back. They didn't wait. They didn't just let anything stop them. They found a way. They got all in, and guess what? It's already all come back to them. As a side note,
This is exactly what we were talking about at my house the other night, Chris. Remember, we were talking about Shauna. Same thing. She does everything that she's told to do. She follows every instruction on the team site. She does everything. She does what we say to do. She comes back. She asks questions. We tell her, give her some more advice. She does that. And she went all in right away. Krista, same thing. I mean, the people that really just take this on and say, this is it, I'm doing this. I mean, I did the same thing. I was sick and tired of not having the life that I wanted. And when I joined Empower Network, I said, this is the vehicle that's going to take my life to the next level. This is it. That's it. End of, period, end of story. And that's what you guys have done. And
which, by the way, is full circle here, which is so awesome, is that from Krista's story, she's gone through her marketing, she's been doing her thing, and just this month, she's already had a $4,600 month, or what was it? Yeah, $4,000 month already, just this month. So she's breaking through too. It happens.
It does. And we've been failing forward. We haven't even finished half the training yet, but we've just been applying what we've been taught and taking chances, and we've been going off on tangents and building our own websites, which nobody told us to do, and funnily enough, they don't convert. So, we're being human beings about it as well, but we're not. There is nothing in the way of that path. Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing can get in the way.
Awesome. That's it. You all heard it right here on the Hangout. Nothing can get in the way. Nothing. And it's the same for any of you. Don't let anything get in the way. Don't make excuses. Don't look for things to be offended by. Don't look for reasons why this thing couldn't work. Just follow the leader. Follow the leaders that have come before you. Shauna got on. Dave and Pamela have gone on. There's many other leaders in the team with success stories. They didn't make excuses. Yeah, sure, things got tough. Did you just hear Pamela say, look, we tried to build our own sites. They didn't convert. We tried to do our own thing. We just took a bunch of action. And the cool thing is they weren't afraid to mess it up. And did you hear her say it? Failed forward, okay? So like I said at the beginning, isn't this funny how we say things, and then the people that are doing it come on and back up everything we say. You know, that wasn't scripted, that wasn't planned. All I said to them before this was, hey guys, we want to have you out on a hangout to interview. You cool with it? They're like, we'd be honored. And I'm like, cool. We didn't talk about, hey, I'm going to say this, and then you're going to say this. You know,
No.
Did any of that go on?
We were laughing like, oh my God, that so fits in with your story, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So, yeah, it all is. It all is.
So once again, here's the proof, and here it is. And there's nothing that it's all here for you guys. It's all here. Pam and Dave followed it, and so did others. It's in our team site. We've got the people here, and I'll tell you what, that secret sauce, we don't have to teach you that now because Pam and Dave, they just gave you that secret sauce. That's what it is. What they got, what they're talking about, that's that secret sauce. I
think the secret sauce isn't outside of you; it's inside, and you need to look inside. Your story is there, and it's actually glaringly obvious in your face, but you need to actually be brave enough to look at it and see it for what it is.
And realize what you bring to the table is just as important as anybody else. You know,
Yeah,
I sat
absolutely.
around a table of internet marketers last week with some very successful ones, and the leader of it, my buddy Aaron, he said, you know, if you're coming here just to get something, then you've missed the point. Because when we come together in community, in family, when we come here to lift each other up and make each other stronger as a whole, then you come here and you've got a part to contribute. So come here feeling like your part that you have to contribute is put right out there, that you can give as much as you can get, and look here to give, and when you give, you're gonna get automatically. That's the way it works. So on that note, for those of you who want to give and chime in about how this resonated with you, about how Pam and Dave's story resonated, about even how Shauna's story last weekend resonated, and everything you've heard about on these Hangouts tonight, chime in the comments below. And for those of you who wonder how to get on there, there's a real simple button just below the Join Team Join BTC button that says sign in. If you don't know how this works, it's real easy. Click that button and it gives you options. You can sign in with your Google account, with your Facebook account, your Twitter account, your LinkedIn account, whatever you want there, and then you can start making comments too. You can also interact and like and give back to the other people who have given comments, and go in there and give your part too. And step up and be a part of the community. That's what we're here. We're a part of the family. So what I want to do is officially welcome you, Pamela and Dave, to the family. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for sharing your story. I have no doubt whatsoever that we're going to be seeing you on the beaches of the world and in Miami and hanging out with us, having fun and masterminding and co-creating and making things happen and being leaders and enjoying life and doing what we're meant to do here. And I appreciate it and look forward to working with you. So thank you for coming out.
And thank you for inviting us. It's been our pleasure.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I had
Any
both
last
my kids at home, Pamela, so I have a special place in my heart for midwives. I love midwives.
Oh, you're special too. We have special places in our hearts for women that birth at home. That's powerful in itself.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of kids, ours are going to be coming home soon, so the whole thing will change. So we might just.
Boy. All right. Well, what we're going to do here is we're going to see if we can finish up here on the Hangout a little bit and see what we can do. But any last words here, Dave or Pamela? You got any last words here before we let you go?
That's pretty much it.
I just want to say, if you're sitting on the fence, if you're thinking of getting in, just get all in, get to the event, stop stalling your life. Make a decision. If you make a decision and you have the intention to do it, the space between not doing it and doing it is just suffering. So make a decision and take action to get that decision and just go for it. Otherwise, you're just going to suffer.
You don't have to suffer.
No.
Wow,
No.
I'm really typing that and writing that down. I love that quote. The space between not doing it and doing it is only suffering. That's like a perfect blog post headline. That's almost that's like a capture page headline. That's a call to action right there.
That is.
Wow.
Did you
I
guys
love
hear
that.
what Tony Rush said last night on the call? I wrote this down too. This is awesome. There are a lot of people who are upset because they don't have any money in exchange for the work they are not doing.
Yeah, that's exactly true.
Yeah.
And I need to also tell you that when I first joined at the $25 level, I looked at my e-wallet every day and wondered why there wasn't $25 in it. I hadn't done a thing. I hadn't done anything. So, you do actually have to do something. You have to get into action, people. It's not going to just fall on your lap.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Wow. Thank you for coming out. We appreciate you. We love you, Pamela and Dave. Thank you for being a shining beacon example of light for us. Thank you so much. And we just look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for coming out. And we'll be in touch. We'll get an update from you soon.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys too.
Love you.
Thank you so much. You've changed our lives.
Great to have you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we're singing happy birthday to Michael Leaf.
Right.
Happy
Wait,
birthday,
I gotta get a
Michael.
cake. Oh, there it is.
Wow! Oh my God! I gotta look at some of these comments here. I mean, that was just amazing. I mean, guys, 2 weeks in a row here. Special sauce.
Our team is amazing.
Isn't it?
To it. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
If I was pregnant right now, I'd fly her here to deliver my baby. I'm not kidding.
I'm
Great.
not going to say anything.
You guys ready to sing?
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what you're thinking, Jordan.
I don't really want to know what I was thinking either. Good thing some of my thoughts just go off into nowhere and then they.
Okay, so in the tradition of Team Be the Change, we like to acknowledge birthdays and all kinds of stuff here when we have exciting things happening. And I guess it's Michael Leaf's birthday, so we're going to sing to you, Michael. So here we go. Ready? In harmony.
Yeah. Happy
Chris, where's your
birthday
hat?
to you.
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michael. Happy birthday to you. Woo!
I'm blowing out a candle for you.
Cupcake. How about a cupcake rather than a cake? Oh, only a cake. All right. How about that? This is ridiculousness. Okay. I'm going to...
Happy birthday, Michael. Sorry that was really bad, but we love you.
And then next time, just let me sing solo.
Yeah. How about now?
All right.
How about now?
How about now?
I don't want to sing solo right now. So low that you can't hear me. All right.
Zing. I need a drum roll for that.
All right. So, my God, that was just amazing. You know, it's interesting to keep seeing people who are having massive transformations in their lives, and then the money starts coming. It's interesting to see that again and again and again and again and again. And really hope that those of you out there that haven't broken through yet, that haven't made money yet, are having some sudden realizations right now as you're listening that it takes transformation. You have to become a different person to, get different results in your life. You have to become a new person in order to get new results. And it just starts with you changing yourself, and it's just absolutely amazing. It's so amazing to watch.
And that's like, for those of you that are sitting here for the first time, I mean, wow, imagine this being your first hangout you've ever come to. Yes, they can be this good a lot, so you want to come back. And for those of you that are wondering whether or not you can do this thing, I think that by now you can see what has already been done by people that didn't know what they were doing yet. and how this can go for you. And so, it's like some of the other concepts that we were talking about tonight. One of the cool things is that you don't have to be an expert. And, that's kind of the law of third party that I was talking about, that I promised I'd get into. And just real quick, I'm going to cover this because I've actually covered this before. But I mean, this segues perfectly from what just went on tonight. I mean, look at that. Look at what Pamela and Dave did. They employed the law of third party also, because for their training, they went and found the training in the team, learned how to tell stories, and learned how to defer to the credible authority sources on it, and then blogged and told their story. Which, the main thing about third party is, a lot of people might ask you when you get started in your business, well, how much money are you making? You're like, well, I just got started. I really, don't have anything yet. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to, unless you're already making a bunch of money, I don't want to have anything, I don't know anything about it. And the cool thing is, you don't have to be the expert. You can come in and take advantage of our systems that we have and the funnels that we have that are already credible and already authoritative. And also, when you bring people in, the cool thing is you don't have to answer questions for people. Some of you may have a fear of, well, if I get started and actually start making sales and bringing people into the team, they're going to wonder if they need to start teaching or training or telling people what to do. And that's actually not the case at all. We've actually set up the team site to be completely hands-off, that if you never even talked to your sponsor, you could still do this thing. And in fact, you don't have any excuse to talk to them. If they want to reach out and connect with you, which is awesome, oftentimes they do. Oftentimes they want to connect and listen to you and hear your story and see why you joined, and help point you in the right direction. But that's normally the best they can do, especially if they're new as well, which is most of the time, because our team is growing so fast, there's so many new people. So the law of third party is, rather than taking all of that on yourself, even if you do reach out to someone that you bring in, you can effectively, and with all the authority you want, simply say, look, I don't know that yet, but there's these other leaders in our team that are making multiple 5 figures, that are making 5 figures a month and doing very well, 6 figures a year, and they've put this training together just about this particular thing you're asking about, and you can go right into the team site and you can watch that video about it, and it'll tell you. And the cool thing is, if someone asks you about it, you can just point them to that video and you don't have to train. You can spend your time on income producing activities. And so the law of third party is amazing, because when you just set up a system, you can send people to it. You don't have to be the hero. Being the superhero sucks. I'll tell you, it's a lot more time and effort than most of you think. More than half of my day is focused on a lot of team stuff all the time. If I wasn't doing that, I'd be producing a lot more. But what I love to see, it's not important to me of producing a lot of money. If I wanted to go make a lot more, I would make the choice to do that and go do it. My choice is to grow this team and help as many people make as much money as possible. And because I do that, I make enough. I make more than enough. And that's all I care about. And our leaders are continually growing. I'm still growing as a person. I'm going through my processes because I'm human just like anybody else. And it works. So, that's the law of third party. Is real simple, and it's something that anyone can utilize. And it's only when people's egos get in the way, that they want to be the superhero, that they want to try to tell people what to do, that things mess up. You don't have to. There's no reason to call your people and get on there and say, hey, let me give you a checklist of all these things. That's all there in the team site. Go download that your form and go through the checklist. It's all there. So it's already set up for you. Jordan made it. It's awesome.
I remember too, Chris, back in December, when I came back, me and Amy spent a while creating this awesome, what I thought was an awesome sales video. And the funnel works, the capture page works, the sales video did not work. And I was on a conversation with you and David Wood, and he said to me, so is the capture page converting? I said, yeah, we're getting really good conversions, like 40-something%. It's awesome. Generating leads, getting leads for cheap. He said, how's your sales video doing? I said, it's not doing. He said, well, our sales video is converting. and a light bulb kind of, it was like a smack in the face. I'm like, okay, I get it. Ego gone. Your sales video converts, mine doesn't. I'm going to use your sales video. And typically like with what you just said there, Chris, how you talked about the fact that you're focused on team building and you put a lot of energy into team. I promise you there's a lot of people out there now who are like, ooh, I'm going to go focus on team building and building my team and doing because that's why Chris is making a lot of money. Do not think that, folks.
No.
Do not think that at all.
I would be making a lot more if I didn't.
Right. The only reason that Amy, Chris, and I and the other leadership here have really spent a lot of time building this team site and doing everything we're doing is because we had to. Right? It's because we had to do it. Because our team was so big and we needed to put stuff together to train everyone, to bring it together, to create that community, to create the family that we have here. That stuff had to be done. Once that was done, I mean, we're able to start producing. Chris is turning ads on, Amy's turning ads on, I got ads working. We're producing as well. And so don't think for a minute. I had a guy come to me and say, well, I saw you building a team site and doing this stuff, so I started building out my own team site and doing all this stuff. And I said, how many people have you sponsored? He said 10. I said, why would you do that? Stop. He's like, how can I make it better? I said, throw it in the garbage. Just get rid of it, because what you're trying to do is something that doesn't need to be done. Don't waste your time on that. And so don't think for a minute, folks, that any of you have to go out there. Now, if you go and start building a team and you produce a lot, get a big team going and all that good stuff, and you go off and you want to start building your own team and doing it your own, with things your own way, by all means, go do that. Just don't think you have to do it, because you don't. Because what we have here works. Because what we have going on here is absolutely getting results, and the team is producing, and the team members are getting results. Even brand new people are coming in and getting results. So, don't think for a minute that you got to go out and do any of that stuff. In fact, I mean, you even heard Pam and Dave say we started creating our own capture pages and they weren't working. Well, I promise you, they're going to continue using the ones that are working, and probably create one of their own and really get it tweaked to make sure that it is working. But stick with what is working. Don't go with. Now, here's the thing: go with what is working. And at the same time, here's a big lesson. This is something that I shared on an all-in call the other week. Go with what is working, and once you have that flowing, once you have that moving and it's flowing and it's going, and you have extra time and energy that you're not taking away from what's already working, then put a little bit of time and effort into testing something else and trying something else and seeing if something else works, because 90% of what you do is not going to work. 90% of what you attempt is not going to work. If something is already working and we say, hey, this is working, just start sending traffic to it, well, then just do that, get that flowing, get that going, then start doing some of your own stuff, right? Then start creating some of your own stuff and testing some of your own things. Don't start with thinking, hey, I know I see them all building stuff, branding themselves, their own capture pages with them in the video and blah, blah, blah. That was where my ego had got me at the beginning of last year. And when Dave Wood said to me, Jordan, you don't need to be in the video, I was like, if your video is converting, I'm just literally, I'm in your hands. I trust you. And what happened was I went on to start making, I had my first 5-figure month within a few months. I started sponsoring people. I started producing results. I started getting signups. I started building a team. We got momentum going. All these amazing things happened. So with that being said, folks, just really stick with what is working, and then on the side, test new things.
Perfect. Yeah, I fully agree, because I needed to take your advice there too. So yeah, and that's about it there, because the last part of all this we were talking about with the law of precise interests, we get more into that in our $500 training, but here's what you need to know about it, because we're going to wrap this up. Here's what you need to know about it. You feel a connection with people when you know that you're dealing with like-minded people, and that's what we have in the team here, is like-minded people. And so there is literally a scientific response where the brain releases chemicals and you feel more connected to somebody when you know they think like you. And it's not like you can just decide for that not to happen. It's scientific, and it's a part of who we are as human beings. So you want to connect with like-minded individuals, go out and market to people who are like you. Go find the ones that like the same books, that like the same movies, have the same hobbies, have the same interests, have the same things. And that's how you connect with people on your precise interests. And when you tell your stories, essentially just refer to the things that you love, the things that you love to do, the things that you love to read, the things that you love to watch, the things that you put your energy and focus on. It may be about your family. There's a lot of people out there that the biggest and most important thing is their family, and I think that's most people on this planet, a major majority of them by far. And for those that don't have a family, I think those are the only ones that would say, that's probably not the biggest one because they don't have a family really of their own yet. And just talking about how much you want to be able to enjoy your family, there's a funny thing that I've seen. Even when a father says to another man, are you a father? And he's like, well, yes, I am. I got 2 boys. Well, so do I. And right away there's a camaraderie. They understand what it's like. And there's things about that someone who's not a father doesn't understand. Hasn't been through waking up at 3 in the morning, changing diapers and crying babies and everything like that. That type of thing can only be shared by people who have the same camaraderie, the same precise things going on in life. And that's where you want to live. That's where you want to keep reaching out in those areas and finding people like you and finding those common bonds between each other. And those common bonds are going to bond you together in a common area with a common purpose and a common dream and a common vision, which is bettering your life. And the vehicle to do that is in Team Be the Change, powered by Empower Network. So at this time, you now have permission to click the link below if you're not in yet. Join us today and get started and see what we're about. And have fun with us. Come with us. Come see us in Miami. And with that, I'm going to turn it on over to take them home, Jordan.
Sweet. Yeah, the last 2 things I want to mention again, folks. If you're not all in yet, or if you are all in, remember we do an all-in call tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where you literally get to get on, come to us with your marketing questions. Hopefully you've done some marketing so you can come to us and say, this is what I've done, these are the results I've gotten, how can I make it better? We do take priority. The people that go ahead and go to the all-in page on our team site, you can submit questions there ahead of time. Those questions take priority. If we have a limited amount of time, which we do, and those questions come in, they get asked first. They get answered first. And then we go from there for the other people that are on. And when we have extra time, we go ahead and answer other questions that haven't yet been asked. So that's what we're doing tomorrow night. Now, after that, again, we're doing the live training for the $500 day challenge, where we're going to literally teach you how to have your first $500 day within your first month of the team. Now, I know some of you are like, well, I've been in the team for more than a month, this, that, the other thing. We understand that, and again, because everything got messed up with our computers getting stolen, we're going to lay some very clear-cut, rules out. Maybe not on tomorrow night's call, but we're going to have some clear-cut rules for when you got to achieve that by. And trust me when I tell you this, when you have your $500 day and you get to be put into our marketing, and you get to have your name in our marketing funnels, in our email follow-ups, in the sales videos, in that stuff, it's just absolutely rocks. That's why, like when Dave Wood asked yesterday, hey, can you tell us what results you've gotten? We need testimonials. I'm like, I am all over that. I'm writing a testimonial the second I saw this, because that's the best kind of exposure you can possibly get, especially in a sales funnel that you're promoting. So that is tomorrow night. You have to have sponsored one person and own up to the $500 product, meaning the 25, the 100, and the 500, own all of those products, and have sponsored one person, and you can attend tomorrow's live training, and we're going to lay that all out. So excited about that, excited about tomorrow. With that, just, we'll see you here next week. If we don't see you before then, we'll see you here next week with probably yet another success story, another person breaking through, another person having phenomenal results, life-changing experiences, just absolutely amazing things. And, really the magic happens, again, folks, on the inside. It's once you decide to take action and plug in. We're so much more, as you can tell by now, than just a community of people that are all about making money. We're so much more than just that. We're about helping people live better lives, live more fulfilling lives, live happier lives. and transform in ways that they didn't even know was possible before or didn't believe was possible. And yeah, we make money doing it too. That's the beautiful part, is we actually get to make a living helping people transform their lives. So if that's something you want to be a part of and you want to help people transform their lives in some way, shape, or form, and you want to do it and make money on the side, go ahead and click the button down below. Get in, make that decision right now. That is the beginning. Once you make that decision and take action, like I said, you set your intention. Like Pamela and David said, they set their intention after they took action. They started taking action. Everything else in between kind of just fell together. The universe will bend to your will when you have a clear-cut intention of why you're doing what you're doing and what you want to achieve. It's just absolutely magical. The first step, though, I get a lot of emails from people saying, Jordan, how can I start making money online? Well, get started. That's kind of the first step. Like I could lay out the entire game plan for you, and in some of the stuff we do before you get started, but typically not, because what matters is this is the first step. Step one is you clicking that button down below, getting started with us for just $25. Then the whole game plan after that falls into place. We could tell you everything after that, but it doesn't matter if you don't take that first step. So why, I think it was Martin Luther King. I don't remember who the quote is by, but you don't have to see the entire staircase to take the first step. And quite honestly, folks, if I were to look at everything I've gone through over the past 5 years, I don't know if I would have taken that first step. But every single step that I did take prepared me for that next one. Every single step that I take and all the obstacles that I faced and the struggle that I faced getting to that next step and getting to the next step prepared me to be able to take steps way further up the staircase than I ever would have known was possible. And my life's absolutely amazing because of it, and I'm surrounded with amazing, awesome people. So get started, plug in. The beauty's on the inside, the magic is on the inside, and we look forward to working with you and helping you create the life of your dreams as well. So
yeah. Absolutely. And before I throw it over to Amy here, I got one last thing, because I'm going to let Amy bring him home. But I got one last thing here for you guys. And it's simply this. We are Team Be the Change. And a lot of people will listen to that and look at that, and they see our logo and they see Gandhi. A lot of you who don't know, that's Mahatma Gandhi, a superimposed picture of him on our logo. And a lot of people go, oh, well, you guys are very spiritual and being the change you want to see in the world, and that's awesome and cool and everything, but what does that have to do with really getting what I want out of my life and everything? And here's why I called it this. Okay, I was inspired by some of the greatest people that have gone before me, but here's what this needs to be for you in order for you to make it work in your life. I once had some friends who were entrepreneurs like me when I was a little younger, and it was at a time where I hadn't really created the success yet. It was actually when I was still in college, and soon after I dropped out. But I was always talking about the things I was going to do, all the things I was going to accomplish, and I thought I was going to accomplish them a lot sooner than what took me till I'm now 32 to do. And they would say to me, Chris, don't talk about it, be about it. And I remember them saying that then, and I always remembered that in order to have what I wanted, it wasn't go do something that makes me have something and then my ego tells me I get to be something. It's let go of the ego, be who you are. That will cause you to take the right actions, to do the right things, and that will allow you to have what you want. So here's my one last call for you. This is a call and a shout out to the whole family, Team Be the Change, and everyone else connected to us. It's this simple. What's that change for you? And I want you to put those comments below. I want you to line this whole wall with your why and what being the change is for you. What's that change for you? What do you want in your life that you need a change for, so we can read these and we can help you get it? That's what we want to know. So with that, I love you guys. I'm going to pop it on over. Amy, take them home.
Yeah, and I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but we have something really cool planned for the breakout session at our next event that's going to blow your mind, so you got to be there. You know what I'm talking about, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Based on what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, you're like, whatever. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think I do. But
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It
So
has to do with the tree. Remember the tree?
oh, shh.
Yeah. No, I know. That's all I'm going to say. So, anyway, yeah. I mean, this has been an amazing hangout. It's so good to be here with everybody, and yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of in awe of our team right now. Couple things, I guess, in summary is just kind of just like what Chris just said. You know, I know Pam and David were talking tonight about landmark education, what a difference that has made for them, and that's the case for me as well. And I know a lot of our team members have been through landmark education. But one of the things that they teach there is it's called be, do, have. A lot of people think that it's supposed to be the other way, like I can't do the things that I want to do until I have this money or whatever, and they actually teach that it's actually the opposite, that it's about being it now, which will cause you to do the things that will eventually cause you to have what you want in your life. So I love that you brought that up, Chris. And then the other thing that Pam and David talked about tonight was how when they went through the 15K formula and they watched that first video that teaches you how to set your intention, that video, like Jordan said, the magic is on the inside. When you watch that video has the, like I think Jordan chimed in when they were talking about it, it's life-changing. When you actually go through that exercise, it will change your life, because the success happens, just like we've been talking about all night, it happens with the personal breakthroughs first. It's not about going out there and just taking action without actually setting your intention and having personal breakthroughs. And a lot of those personal breakthroughs also come from the Inner Circle product, which is the product that we listen to every day that helps us with our mindset. And so, you know, on our team, we focus a lot on personal development and personal breakthroughs. And as you can see from the people that have come out to speak, that their financial success did not come before their personal breakthroughs. And Empower Network as a company is committed to this as well, which is why we have products like the Inner Circle to help you with your mindset, and why the very first video in our how-to product is about setting an intention. It's like, you know, before you go out and try to implement any of these strategies, the first thing you have to know is, what do you want, and why are you here, and why are you doing this, and what's your goal? So, and then, you know, I don't know, I totally agree with what Jordan said. It's just click the link below just so that you can see behind the curtain and see what's here, because it is stuff that will literally change your life personally and financially, if that's what you want. But even if that's not what you want, or if it's not your first priority, like for David, I don't think that was his first priority, but he got something so much more valuable than money. And they're going to be, I mean, I can just tell they're going to be like extremely successful here. But I think the bottom line for me tonight is, and I know this, and I know we focus a lot on this on our team too, is about telling our stories. And I know, you know, when I listened to David tonight tell his story, what it did for me was it reminded me, because up until recently when Chris did this really powerful training, he did this training in Breckenridge that we have videotaped and it's on our team site. That was the first time that I actually started to tell parts of my story that I was too ashamed to tell before. And listening to David tonight made me realize that, you know, we all have that. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't easy for him to tell that part of his story either, but I mean, I was completely moved by that and completely inspired by that. And so I know that we all have something like that. We all have, I mean, might not be as extreme as laying on the train tracks, but we all have some kind of skeleton in our closet that we're afraid to share. And I think it's those skeletons in our closet that actually provide more inspiration for people when they hear about it than all the good, success, happy stuff. And I think, you know, I mean, the leader of our company, one of the leaders of our company, David Sharp, he tells a story every time he speaks, you know, and that's why he does it, because he knows that if he just got on stage and said, yeah, I'm a multi-millionaire and blah, 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 that doesn't inspire people as much as talking about it from where you've come from. And so we all have that. And so that's the beautiful thing here, is that we can all be successful just by inspiring other people through our own story. That's all this is. That's all we're really doing here. And we have, the means to do that with the blog that we get for $25 when you click the link below. And we use that to tell our story. And I mean, that's really what we're doing here. So anyway, I'm just completely inspired. And again, just really grateful to be part of this team and to be part of this company. And I know that we're all in the right place at the right time. I love you guys. Thanks so much for everybody for being here tonight. And I look forward to meeting those of you that I haven't met in Miami. And seeing you all next week on the Hangout.
All right. We love you.
So,
Good night, family.
good night, everybody.